Hello everyone and welcome to this online University of Dundee training session. It's my great pleasure to be your host. I am Matthew. I am a Senior International Officer and the Regional Lead for the Americas, for the Middle East, North Africa and for Europe. So I cover a lot of things at Dundee, hence why I've been asked to do this training session with you. We're going to be covering lots of things. I'll give you a general introduction to the university. I will tell you about our programs, our tuition fees, our scholarships, where Dundee is and what's so wonderful about it. Hopefully everyone can understand me. I have quite a thick Scottish accent, so hopefully I'm intelligible and you can make out what I'm saying. Please do stick with us. Thank you so much for tuning into this training and we hope you learn a lot, but we'll just get started right away. Hello everyone, we're going to be talking in this short video a little bit about why you would want to study in Scotland and specifically what the University of Dundee is like, to give you a brief introduction of who we are and what we represent. Now, before we can talk about how great Dundee is, I just want to talk about what a wonderful study destination Scotland is. So Scotland's universities, and Dundee of course is in Scotland, as we will discuss. They have a world-renowned reputation for excellent research, for excellent graduate prospects, for flexible degree programs, and for outdoor activities and outdoor learning. So some of Scotland's universities are the very best in the world for research, particularly at the University of Dundee. We have a very important research program where we have created a longer-lasting ice cream, Your Welcome World. We also do world-renowned research into malaria, into drug discovery. We have a collaboration with CERN, the people with the Large Hadron Collider. Dundee very much at the heart of that Scottish-focused research initiative that kind of pervades Scottish higher education. A crucial thing I need to note, many international students, when they come to Scotland, they think that it's going to be very, very cold and very wet. I've never met an international student who doesn't think that. And we just want to emphasize as much as possible in these training sessions that the weather in Scotland is actually quite pleasant. It is very temperate. It is very rarely too warm or too cold. We get a little bit of snow in the winter time, but usually it's a very kind of temperate climate, somewhere right in the middle of comfortable. It's rarely too warm or too cold. And we really want to make sure that international students who are coming to study in Scotland know that about us. Now, specifically, where is Dundee in the UK? We've marked on this map in red. For those who are maybe not familiar with us yet, you can see where we are situated. So Dundee actually does have its own airport. Sadly, it is not an international airport, but there are flights a few times a week from Dundee's airport to other places in the UK. So you can fly from Dundee to London Heathrow. So if there are students who are arriving in London, they can fly from Heathrow to Dundee, which is very exciting. There's also a train which takes Dundee all the way down and connects it with London. That train runs several times a day, and it's about a 5.5 to 6 hour train ride. We're also connected with other places in Scotland. Bigger cities like Glasgow and Edinburgh are only an hour away. So for a relatively small city located on the east coast of Scotland, Dundee is actually remarkably well connected. I'm also going to emphasize this. Dundee is statistically the sunniest city in Scotland. It's a very temperate, very pleasant climate. Like I said, occasionally snow in winter, but because of where we are situated right on the Tay River Basin, it's very difficult for rain to form over the city. And so we are mathematically the sunniest place in Scotland. It's a very pleasant environment for students. There's lots of nature near the city. There are many parks and green spaces, and that absolutely gorgeous Scottish countryside is just outside of the city. Obviously, I am biased, but I think Scotland is the most beautiful country anywhere in the world, and anyone who says otherwise is a liar. But it means that students who are interested in those outdoor activities like walking, hiking, mountain biking, kayaking, camping, Dundee's a really good place to base themselves. Now, we know that the cost of living is of a lot of importance to students, particularly in recent years. Dundee, even for a Scottish city, is much cheaper than the UK average. So Scotland in general is a bit cheaper than England, Wales, or Northern Ireland, and Dundee is cheap even by Scottish standards. So we recommend as a university that students budget for about £800 to £900 a month for living expenses, not including their rent. And we'll put an estimate on the slide as to the kind of rough cost of living that we as a university would advise students to prepare for. As you can see, it's dramatically lower than big cities in the UK like Liverpool or Manchester or London. Now, we've done a little bit of calculating here at Dundee, and we think that rent accommodation in Dundee is approximately 15% lower than the UK average. That's quite a substantial margin. And our accommodation is very competitively priced. So if a student wants to live in the University of Dundee's halls of residence, you can see our pricing structure there. So we think roughly, depending on what accommodation the student lives in, it'll cost approximately £210 per week or £840 per month. That sum is inclusive of all the students' bills, their Wi-Fi, so their gas, their electricity, all of that is included in the cost if they come and stay in Dundee's halls of residence. For comparison, it's very cheap and easy to find private accommodation in Dundee, and we've put a little bit of a breakdown as to the average cost of a one-bedroom apartment, a two-bedroom apartment, or a three-bedroom apartment if a student wanted to live privately in Dundee. So that's just a bit it for me, I think, folks, in this slide. A brief introduction to the city, where it's located, and the cost of living in Dundee. I will see you in the next video, but if you want to just click on the next slide, there was an automated video that gives you a little bit of an introduction to our campus using an aerial drone. It's very exciting. I will see you in a video or two. Take care.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is George Wilkinson, and today I am in Dundee to, explore the city of Dundee, but most importantly to bring you a campus tour video from the University of Dundee. It's raining, not a very good weather to, bring you a campus tour video, but I'll try and do my very best. Join me and let's check out this beautiful city.
here at the University of Dundee. And on this slide, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our campus, give you again an introduction to the university, and tell you what starts to make Dundee so interesting and so exciting as a prospect for international students. So the first thing you should know about us is that we are a medium-sized university. We're not too big, we're not too small. We like to think that we are perfectly sized. And with about 17,500 students by UK standards, we are very much a medium-sized university. So to give you a little bit of context, the biggest university in Scotland is Edinburgh. They have about 40,000 students. And the smallest university in Scotland is either Abertay or Queen Margaret University, which only has maybe 4,000 or 5,000 students. So with 17,500, we think that we are big enough to be vibrant and international and multicultural and interesting, but not so huge that students are going to be lost amongst tens of thousands of other students. We are very proud of the fact that we are a city campus. So we are located right in the heart of the city centre of Dundee. Dundee is quite a historic city. It's existed for almost 1,000 years. There's been a settlement there on the banks of the River Tay. But it is a very small city. So there are only around 150,000 people that live in Dundee. And according to the Lonely Planet, Dundee has the highest concentration of students per head of capita of any city in the UK. That means in terms of student societies, in terms of student culture, student comedy, student events, it's really easy to get involved. And we are used to welcoming international students from all over the world. In fact, about 20% of our student population are from outside of the UK. So not only are we very small, we're very international, we're very close-knit, and because our students make up such a large demographic of the city of Dundee, it's exceptionally easy for them to integrate and make the most of living in this small, very student-friendly city. Now, the second part of being a campus university is that we are a campus. So there's a really good sense of student community. Everything is together in one place. Our halls of residence, our lecture theatres, our laboratories, our dental hospital, all of it is concentrated in a small area. It's very easy to get from one side of the campus to the other. And there's a nice sense of it being, like I said, a student village with everyone in one environment. To this end, we actually have an award-winning student union. So I believe for 5 or 6 years in a row, we are voted the best student union in Scotland. The student union is the heart of student activity on campus. It's where all of our clubs and societies are based. It's a social space. It is effectively a hub for students and the place where they can go to for support, to enjoy themselves, to socialise. And for 5 or 6 years in a row, it was voted the best of its kind in Scotland. Now, a little bit more about the city of Dundee. I've already spoken in previous videos how well connected the city is and how close we are to nature. Lots of our clubs and societies at Dundee involve walking or hiking, taking advantage of that green space. A brief note on the history of the university. So we began life as a university college of the University of St Andrews. So St Andrews is one of the oldest universities anywhere in the English-speaking world, and we're really proud of that historic connection that we have with them. But then about 50 years ago, we broke off from St Andrews. We gained our independence as a university. So we have the best of both worlds. We retain that ancient academic lineage, that heritage, and our own modern, more innovative research methods that we've developed on our own terms over the last 50 years or so. So we have a very unique feel. We are simultaneously very old and very young at the same time by university standards. That's about all for this video, folks. I will, again, thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. In this video, we're going to give a very brief overview of our academic programs, really getting into the meat and bones of what makes us a university and the many, many degrees at undergraduate and postgraduate level that we offer. So as you can see, we have a range of academic schools covering art and design, business, dentistry, humanities, social sciences and law, health sciences, life sciences, medicine, science and engineering, and actually quite a lot more that are not captured on the slide. What you should take from this is that we offer, I believe, 250 different undergraduate degree courses and nearly 200 postgraduate programs. So even though we are a medium-sized university, we have a very broad portfolio of courses. And the students that you're engaging with, no matter what it is they want to study, we probably offer some version of it. So I will not waste any more time. I will get right on and talk in the next video about our School of Art and Design. I will see you in that next video. Take care. Hello, in this video I'm going to cover our School of Art and Design. So it's based in Duncan of Jordanston College of Art and Design. It was previously an independent art and design college that was absorbed by the university, and now we use it as the hub of all things creative, all things artistic on campus. It's a truly remarkable place. It wins lots of accolades. One of our professors was telling me recently that our students win more prizes for their artwork than any other institution in Scotland, which is very gratifying. And once per year, we turn the entire art and design school into a large gallery space during the degree show where students showcase their artwork. Some of the art goes for tens of thousands of pounds because people buy it directly from the degree show. The most impressive thing I've seen at the degree show was a young lady who created a horse sculpture. It was a 20-foot horse made out of solid metal. It was incredibly impressive. It's amazing what our art students can produce. And hopefully you'll be able to encourage your students to apply to Duncan of Jordanston College of Art and Design within the university. So at undergraduate level, we have a host of subjects available. You can see them arrayed on the slide, from animation to urban planning, textiles, product design, illustration. Crucially, the unique selling point of Dundee's undergraduate degree for art and design is that in the first year of the 4-year degree program, students study all the kinds of art and design that we offer. So in their first year of 4, they study everything, they sample the kinds of art and design they would like to study, and thereafter they specialize in the kind of art and design they are most interested in. So first year they study everything, thereafter they focus on one element of art and design, which is their strongest area. Lots of our specialisms can be carried forward to postgraduate level. So as you can see, most of the undergraduate subjects have an equivalent at postgraduate taught level. Some really interesting ones. We have one of the world's only comics and graphic novel courses. We were the first university ever in the world to appoint a chair of comics and graphic novels. We're very, very distinctive in that area. We also have design for business, which is a bit more corporate orientated aspect of art and design. And we have courses in forensic and medical art, which are unique in Scotland. Very few places will allow you to study that. And it's a course which is particularly distinctive here at Dundee. That's a kind of very broad overview. We'll move on very quickly to our next slide where I hope to see you, but take care and see you in the next video. Hello again. On this video, we're going to discuss our School of Business. So the first thing to note is that the University of Dundee has one of the oldest business schools in the UK. We are one of the first universities to recognise that business was an academic discipline and it deserved to be studied at university level. Now, most degrees at Dundee are flexible, but the business courses are doubly flexible. So they're extremely easy to navigate, where students can pick and choose modules from different kinds of business, both at undergraduate and at postgraduate level as well. So we offer, as is standard in Scotland, a variety of 4-year degrees at undergraduate level for accountancy, business management, economics with various specialisms. And we also offer shorter 3-year business degrees for students who want to just come and study for 3 years, get their degree, and then go off into the world of business. At postgraduate level, there are even more options with a variety of specialisms. In marketing, management, finance, banking. But the crucial thing to note is that at both undergraduate and postgraduate level, students can basically choose modules from across the spectrum of business courses and construct their own business degree with the modules that they are most interested in studying. So extremely flexible is the unique selling point I really want to drive home for our business degrees and associated programs. Included in this, all of our business courses have the option of an internship at some point in the undergraduate and or postgraduate study. So often those are paid internships where students can make a little bit of money for their work. It's organised through our partners, Pagoda Projects, and it means that every student gets hands-on experience offered to them as part of their business degree. Again, really strong set of programs, a lot of variety, and that's a brief overview of the types of courses that we can offer within the School of Business. That's it for this video, but I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Hello, in this video, I'm going to talk about Dundee's School of Dentistry, and it's a very easy video because it's a very easy school to talk about. We do exceptionally well for dentistry. We are one of the best universities, not just in the UK, but in the world for dentistry. So you can see some of our rankings on that slide, but the thing you really need to know, we have a truly exceptional dental program, and it's recognized in various accolades. If you check out our website, you will see lots of awards plastered all over the website for just how good we are at dentistry. There are various reasons for that, but one of the reasons is actually demonstrated in the slide. We are pioneers of what's called phantom head technology, where our dental students, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level, have access to phantom heads. You can see that this young lady in the slide is working on one. They're effectively incredibly advanced CPR dummies. They're a facsimile or an approximation of a human head that allow our students to actually work on the best version of human teeth and a human mouth without actually letting them loose on unsuspecting members of the public before they are ready. So it's a really advanced technology that we use, these phantom heads that are used at undergraduate and at postgraduate level as well to enhance our teaching. Now, we offer quite a small suite of dental courses. So we offer oral health sciences, which is the equivalent of kind of dental nursing and dental surgery at undergraduate level. That's the course that would allow a student to ultimately qualify and work and pursue a career as a dentist. We have quite a small undergraduate dentist program. So there are about 60 spaces available each academic year. That means that it's very close-knit and it's fully integrated into our dental hospital, which is on campus. So all of our dentistry courses, both undergraduate and postgraduate, are taught in our dental hospital. So because it's in the campus itself, students don't have to walk to the other side of the city. They don't have to even leave the campus. And it means that they miss out on none of the student experience while still getting an absolutely world-class education in dentistry. At top postgraduate level, these are exceptionally advanced and very niche programs: dental public health, forensic dentistry, and forensic odontology. They are very sought after and competitive, and many of our students who study in some of these programs go back to their home countries and discover they might be the only person in their country or one of a very, very small group of people who are actually qualified in this way, particularly for the forensic dentistry program. So very advanced, very niche, incredibly highly ranked. That is what you should take away about our dental school. We are exceptionally proud of it. Also, my favorite fact ever about the University of Dundee concerns the dental school. So we have a very famous graduate. I'm assuming that everyone listening to this training will have heard of Jay-Z, the rapper, the music producer, husband of Beyonce. It turns out his dentist is a graduate of the University of Dundee. And on that note, we will end this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Hello, in this video, I'm going to cover the School of Humanities, Social Sciences and Law. So this is the largest academic school at the University of Dundee, and as such, there are rather a lot of programs that are taught, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level. So I'm hopefully going to take you through all of them and try and do each of them justice, just to give you a whistle-stop tour of what the school has to offer. So we have undergraduate programs in the slides on the subjects I ought to say that you can see. Crucially, we do social work, languages, education, and because of the quality of the Scottish education system, anyone who qualifies at undergraduate level from our education programme is typically able to pursue a career in education as a teacher. Anywhere else in the world, usually they're able to go on and progress. Likewise with social work. Most of these courses have a top postgraduate equivalent, and we have a specialism for teaching English as a second language. Furthermore, we offer a great variety of courses in law and energy law. So whilst we offer many, many dozens of courses within the school, we have a particular expertise in law. So our law graduates, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level, typically go on to the very top of the legal profession. We have several Queen's Counsels. We have several people who have gone on from our law programs to become judges, either in the UK or back in their home countries. And we have particular specialisms in international and energy law as well. A series of programs that we are very, very proud of and which are extremely popular for international students, particularly those who come from countries where there is a strong oil and gas industry. So most of these are one-year master's programs. So you can see specialisms in oil and gas law, petroleum taxation and finance. And like I said, if the students you're working with are from an oil-rich or a nation which has a wealth of resource in natural gas or oil, these are typically programs which are extremely attractive to them. In humanities, I'll go back a slide. In humanities, at undergraduate level, we have a very flexible program called the Master of Arts. So the way this works is that for the first 2 years of the 4-year undergraduate degree, students would study up to 3 different subjects. Very, very flexible, as we've spoken about for previous programs. So for example, a student might study English, politics, and economics for their first 2 years, and then specialize in one of those 3 chosen subjects. Or they might go on for the first 2 years and study, say, psychology, English, and that's a good example, politics, for example. After those first 2 years of study, students typically narrow their choice down to one subject, which again, eventually they will graduate in after their two final years. But you can combine 2 subjects together as a joint honours degree. I actually have a degree in Master of Arts. It's a very, very flexible program. I would recommend it to lots of students, particularly those who are a little unsure about what specific subject area within social sciences or humanities that they want to specialise in. And like we've said for previous schools, most of these undergraduate programs translate to an equivalent at postgraduate level. Again, we have quite specific creative writing programs that follow on from our English degrees. And we even offer a conversion degree for anyone, regardless of their academic background, to pursue a master's degree in psychology. It's a special conversion degree, which we find is especially popular for those who maybe have studied an undergraduate degree in, say, history or English, but who want to convert their study and become or pursue a career in psychology. We offer a special degree that allows them to do that. There we are. A little bit more on our law school. So I've already spoken about some of the specific energy and international law programs. We also offer undergraduate degrees. The 3-year LLB in English law is most applicable to international students. So it's a 3-year law program, and it's fully qualifying for law, meaning that students who pursue that 3-year course can work and pursue a career in law in any common law jurisdiction nation. So that includes places like Canada, for example. So many Canadian students will come over, complete our 3-year LLB law degree, and then go back and practice law in Canada, for example. But there are many other nations which are in the common law jurisdiction, and that degree would allow them to qualify. There we are. So in the School of Social Sciences, you can see again, it has that flexible structure, which is common to humanities. So you could mix at undergraduate level degrees like politics and psychology with English or creative writing. And again, at top postgraduate level, we have a whole suite of psychology programs, including the conversion masters that I already mentioned. There we are. I've gone on one slide too far, folks, but you'll see that up next, we're going to talk about the School of Health Sciences. But that's it for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Hello, in this video, I'm going to cover the School of Health Sciences, which focuses primarily on nursing degrees and nursing programs, as the name would suggest. The first thing you need to know about the School of Health Sciences is our very strong rankings. So we're in the world's top 150 degrees for nursing. So in the top 1% of institutions in the world, which is exceptionally prestigious for us. Our nursing programs are very highly regarded, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level. And we're really pleased to tell you a little bit more about them. So at undergraduate level, we offer various types of nursing. So adult nursing, child nursing, and mental health nursing. So there are certain degrees where you can not only study those different varieties, but also top up. So for example, you can do a top-up degree if you are already a qualified nurse in midwifery, or do a specialism in infection prevention and control. So not only do we allow you to qualify as a nurse, if you are working with students who are already qualified nurses in their home country and want to come to the UK to do a top-up degree in one of these specialisms, or indeed pursue some of these programs as a distance learning program, we do have that option available. Likewise, for top postgraduate programs, we have some courses that will allow you to qualify with a master's degree in nursing. Again, if you already possess an undergraduate degree in nursing and want to advance your studies or get a more prestigious degree, we have several top postgraduate courses that will allow you to do that. Similarly, if you want to specialize in a particular area of nursing as a postgraduate, there's various ways you can do that too. We also offer a master's course that is qualifying and would potentially allow someone with a relevant academic background to top up and qualify as a nurse as a postgraduate, depending what their undergraduate degree was in. All of our nursing programs are very highly supported, so they are extremely practical, with students getting placements across the National Health Service, where we get extreme levels of patient contact, really trying to make sure that we develop clinical practice and hands-on experience. We also teach in a very supportive way. So for all of our nursing programs, each student is placed within a learning cluster where they get support from specially trained academic tutors and from their peers. And that peer group remains bonded, and that academic cluster, if you like, remains intact all the way through the academic program, making sure that people make friends easily and that everybody is adequately supported from the start of their degree to the end of their degree. Nursing can be quite a demanding course. It is quite physical. It involves quite a lot of emotional baggage as people adapt to people's illnesses and have to take on these placements. And we try and adapt our course to make sure that a maximum number of students get through that and are well supported through the process. Again, that's a very short, quick overview of our School of Health Sciences. I encourage you to look up any of these on the University of Dundee website for more information. But for now, I'm going to call this video to an end. I look forward to seeing you in yet another video in the future. Take care. Hello, in this video, I'm going to talk about Dundee's School of Life Sciences. So that focuses on things like biological and biomedical sciences. It's also the home to lots of our really prestigious world-renowned research on campus. So I might as well tell you a little bit about that to begin with. So we have research centres for drug discovery, and in particular in malaria. So due to research being done at the University of Dundee in our life sciences department, malaria within our lifetime might not be a global killer anymore. We are working in ways to combat malaria, to prevent it, to treat it. It's a really important research program. And even at undergraduate level, students can get involved in that research process in ways that I'll talk about in a minute. We have a lot of prestigious rankings for life sciences. You can see one of them up on the slide just now, but it's a department which is quite large, brings in lots of research revenue, and the quality of the degrees is generally exceptionally high. Now, to tell you a little bit about those subjects, at undergraduate level to begin with, when students come to us for undergraduate degrees in life sciences, there is a common curriculum for the first 2 years, meaning that regardless what degree specialism someone has chosen, they are all lectured and taught together. So even if someone wanted to study biological sciences or molecular genetics or neuroscience, for the first few years on the course, everyone is lectured together. That means that students don't choose their degree specialism until their third and fourth years. So students have a chance to try out various different aspects of life sciences before focusing on the type of degree that they are most interested in. Lots of these are very specialist, so biological chemistry and drug discovery in particular, a really unique program. We have a 2-in-2 joint degree with the National University of Singapore, so an extremely prestigious university that we are very delighted to be partnered with, where students would spend 2 years studying in Dundee and 2 years studying in Singapore, and a whole host of other specialisms. In their final year as undergraduates, students are given a research project, and that research project takes place in some of our laboratories with work directly overseen by one of our research professors. It means, like I said, even at undergraduate level, students can get a little taste of what it is like to conduct their own research, and it sets them up extremely well for the world of work, for postgraduate study, or indeed for anything within the field of life sciences they want to do after they have graduated. We offer a variety of top postgraduate courses, but crucially, more recently, we have started blending our expertise in business with our expertise in life sciences. So people can now pursue joint degrees in biomedical molecular sciences with business or entrepreneurship. So this allows trained scientists to spin out their ideas to make it more easy to integrate into the structure of a large company, or to spin out an idea and start their own enterprise or their own business, which is extremely popular with lots of courses. In addition to this, our graduates in life sciences go on to do incredible things. Lots of them go on to work for disease control agencies, for world governments, for big pharmaceutical companies, or they pursue master's projects if they're undergraduates, or PhD projects after they have graduated from one of our master's degrees. A very large school in life sciences, lots on offer, and it's my real pleasure to tell you about it. Again, very brief summary, folks. I'm going to draw this video to a close, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Thank you for sticking with us. If you're watching all these videos in order, I will see you very, very soon. Have a good afternoon. Hello, in this video, I'm going to be focusing on Dundee's School of Medicine. So we are a world-renowned centre for medicine. It's another course where we have extremely high rankings for. Typically, we find ourselves in the top 5 in the UK for medicine. Very often, we are at the top spot in one of the major ranking schemes. It's very easy to find our accolades, of which there are many online. So we only have one undergraduate program for medicine, which is the MBCHB. This is the degree that allows you to qualify as a doctor and then go on and pursue your studies and pursue a career as a doctor. It is exceptionally strong. So we have a very, very interesting curriculum, which is half traditionally taught and half problem-based learning. So it is both practical and theory-focused, a blend of both worlds to give students the absolute pinnacle of medical education. We are also one of the very few universities left in the world that still teach anatomy as part of our medical undergraduate degree, but we teach anatomy using a cadaver, a real human body that students will dissect in their first year, and that really reinforces their learning. It's absolutely remarkable. It gives them a much stronger clinical basis, and it's one of the many reasons our medicine course is so highly ranked. In addition to that, all of our medical courses are run out of Ninewells teaching hospital. It's one of the largest teaching hospitals anywhere in Europe. Real doctors, real staff, real procedures, some state-of-the-art equipment, which is fully integrated into a fully functioning hospital. It means that students who come to us either at undergraduate or postgraduate level are in a clinical environment right from day one. And Ninewells Hospital is less than 20 minutes from the campus. You can actually walk from the campus to the hospital in about 35 minutes, and many buses run from the campus down to the medical school as well, making it exceptionally easy and accessible. We have a huge host of very specialist postgraduate programs in medicine. Some of these are for doctors and clinicians who would like to do additional learning or to top up perhaps a degree that they already have. Some of them are for students who perhaps have an undergraduate degree in anatomy or health sciences, biology, or life sciences to pursue a more advanced degree. They're exceptionally well supported with laboratories and specially trained staff. I know that, for example, the motion analysis course is the only one of its kind. We have a specific data science program for precision medicine, which again, very unique and draws on data that only we possess at the University of Dundee, and therefore only we can offer that specific type of teaching. If there are students who are interested in any of these, please do engage with us further. Check out our website, get in contact if you need to, and we can tell you more about them. But fully integrated courses, teaching hospital for all of our medical programs, that is what you ultimately need to know at a glance about the School of Medicine. Again, very brief overview, folks. Thank you for your time. I'm going to call this video to a close. I will see you in the next one. Take care. University of Dundee's School of Science and Engineering. So let's just jump right in. At undergraduate level, we have a host of programs around engineering, maths, mathematical biology, physics, and we have a special degree where you can specialize in physics with astrophysics. At undergraduate level, I want to just draw attention to our new courses in computing and computing science. So we now offer very specialist degrees specializing in AI and artificial intelligence and data science as part of our computing programs. These are very, very popular. These are very lucrative areas that lots of students are looking to develop a career in. And we just want to flag them on this slide that they are very much booming at Dundee. Dundee's got a very strong history of being involved in computer science. So NCR, the company that makes the most electronic cash registers and scanning machines in the world, is based in Dundee. And many of our graduates go on and pursue work with them. Moreover, the video game Grand Theft Auto was actually created in Dundee, and we have a strong association with the computer industry through that city connection too. At postgraduate level, we have a variety of different degrees. So we have a special computing degree that allows anyone who has an undergraduate degree in any sort of science to specialize and convert to having an expertise in computing. There's a great many other degrees that are reflected mostly as top postgraduate versions of our undergraduate programs. Our forensic anthropology and human anatomy courses are world renowned. So they were built by a person called Dame Sue Black. She is the architect of many of our forensic anthropology and anatomy programs, and her expertise is absolutely world-renowned. She was the UN Surgeon General for a while, and her learning has informed lots of the courses that you see for human identification, anatomy, forensic anthropology, etc. Both at undergraduate and postgraduate level, we've got very strong engineering programs with lots of practical workshop experience in biomedical engineering, civil engineering, and in mechanical engineering. We find that civil engineering and industrial engineering is very popular at undergraduate and postgraduate level for international students. We have unique concrete laboratories in Dundee with special centrifuges and specialist equipment that integrates practical experience with more theoretical learning for both civil and industrial engineering too. Oh, the final thing I should note is that we are the only university in Scotland where our science and engineering school have an official collaboration with CERN. So the organization that has the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, our science and engineering department builds lasers as part of a research project with the Hadron Collider. As I understand it, as a non-scientist, we fire the lasers around the Hadron Collider to clear the path for the particles that they smash together. Very exciting. I don't fully understand how it works myself because I'm not a scientist, but just speaks to the prestige of our science and engineering programs. And on that note, that's quite exciting. I'll draw the video to a close there. Thank you as ever for your time. I will see you in the next video. Hello, in this video, I'm going to cover student life and student support at the University of Dundee. So very important aspects of life on campus that we want to emphasize. Dundee is actually renowned for the quality of its student experience. So that's perhaps the strongest aspect of what we can offer students across the board for any subjects. Students come to us and they have a good time. They have a positive impression of the city and they enjoy their studies at Dundee, which is the main thing. So back in 2020, before the pandemic, we were voted University of the Year for student experience. And now post-pandemic, the campus is fully recovered. We've got a cohort of students who are delighted to be back on campus. So student life is huge at Dundee. We have over 200 different societies. So we have a huge host of things. We have a Shrek Society. We have a Family Guy Appreciation Society. We have a Tea Drinkers Society where students come along with their favorite tea and they sit and they share tea and try and find new types of tea that they like, which I think is absolutely adorable. We have a variety of sports teams. So we have hockey, basketball, football, netball. We have some more exotic sports like fencing. We have a skydiving team, all sorts of stuff. So no matter what it is that a student is interested in pursuing, no matter how weird or wonderful or crazy their interest might be, there will be a society for them at Dundee and a group of people who can support them and make sure that they are pursuing that passion whilst they pursue their studies. Now, in terms of student support, we offer lots of ways to help students who are maybe struggling or who just need a little bit extra in order to achieve what they set out to do. So we have academic advisors who can make sure that students' academic writing or that their subject choice is absolutely optimal. We have a careers service, which is open to students at any point in their life. So even after a student has graduated, they can still approach our career service to get help finding jobs, to enhancing their interview practice, to writing a CV, to all sorts of aspects of professional life that would allow them to go on and find the type of work relevant to their degree that they obtained in Dundee. Now, we hope that students never have to use any of these services, but it is nice to know that they are there. We have free advice services for international students. We have the Inquiry Centre, which is a one-stop shop for student services where anyone, no matter what degree or what background they're from, can speak to a member of staff then and there. They're open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and they can point that student in the right direction to make sure that the university steps in and gets them the support that they are looking for. So like I said, there's a whole host of these services available. No matter what type of support a student needs, we can usually accommodate them. Very few of our students have to avail themselves of these services, but it is nice to know that they are there. And on that note, I'll draw this video to a close. As I keep saying, hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Hello, in this short video, I'm going to cover accommodation at the University of Dundee. We have mentioned accommodation briefly in one of the previous videos, but I just want to update and give a little bit more information on it. I suppose it would technically be possible for a student to live in Kazakhstan and commute to Dundee, but they would have to stay up for weeks at a time and spend a lot of time on planes or trains or automobiles. So we strongly encourage that if a student was to join us from an international destination, that they would live in our halls of residence. So our accommodation, halls of residence, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably, but they mean the same thing. They are all located on campus or within a 10-minute walk of the campus. They are very secure. They are all purpose-built. So many universities will just buy buildings near the campus and convert them into student accommodation. We did not do that. All of the accommodation at the University of Dundee was built from the foundations to the roof to actually be lived in by students. It means they are much more secure, they are more fit for purpose, and they are overall just nicer places for students to live. In terms of security, the front door to every building locks, the front door to every flat or apartment locks, and the front door to every individual student's room also locks. So they're exceptionally secure. There's a free phone inside every block of accommodation that goes directly to our campus security. Almost no one has to use it. Usually students use it if they're locked out of their room, but it's nice to know that extra layer of security is there. You can see our price range at the bottom per academic year, and this will also be reflected on the website. But every flat comes with super fast Wi-Fi to allow students to study. Our biggest selling point, though, is that every single room comes with its own en-suite bathroom. So every student gets their own bathroom. They do not have to share a bathroom at any accommodation at the University of Dundee. It is absolutely brilliant. It's a really good thing for students. There is no waiting list for that service. There is no reason to sign up for it. It just comes built in as part of any accommodation package that a student would pursue with us. We can also guarantee accommodation for international students as long as they let us know far enough in advance that they want to come and live in Dundee. We can guarantee accommodation on the first year of their program if that is what they want. So competitively priced, very secure, everything that a student might need. I think I've covered everything in accommodation. We'll move on quickly to the next video and I will see you there. Take care. Hello, in this video, I'm going to talk about entry requirements and how students can actually get in and join the University of Dundee after hopefully you've seen our previous videos telling you how great Dundee is. This is what we require from students in order for them to matriculate and come and study. So generally speaking, we use A-levels as our standard for admission. Of course, we accept qualifications from all over the world. So if the student is studying a high school qualification in Uzbekistan or Nigeria or Canada, we will likely accept that qualification or that university degree. But in order to keep this slide nice and short, we've used A-levels as the standard. So for the majority of our courses, we would look for the equivalent of A, B, B at A-level, or perhaps BBB for some courses, depending on the entry requirements. Obviously, certain courses such as physics, maths, or science programs typically require a science subject, usually mathematics, if it's an undergraduate program. At postgraduate level, we usually ask for an undergraduate degree, which is relevant to the postgraduate course the student wants to apply for. And usually we would look for a 2.2 or a 2.1 for that degree, again, depending. The majority of courses at postgraduate level, we would look for a 2.2 degree or equivalent. And there are websites online and on the university's website where you can find the equivalent of a University of Dundee 2.2 or an undergraduate degree in the UK, which would be a 2.2, what that corresponds to in the student's home country for an undergraduate degree. I hope that makes sense. We'll move on. We also have, of course, English language requirements. Our preferred English language test method is IELTS, and you can see a breakdown at the bottom of that slide. There are lower standard of IELTS, our standard of IELTS, and the higher standard, depending on what type of course the student would apply for. Of course, we accept other English tests. Those are all detailed on the website, and I've listed the most prominent English tests that we accept in addition to IELTS on this slide. But of course, TOEFL, Pearson, Trinity, IELTS is our preferred, but there are various other options we will go for. The majority of our programs at Dundee require a 6.5 overall, or the equivalent. That's the IELTS requirement, but we will accept the equivalent in any of the other tests I have mentioned. Some other courses like nursing, medicine, dentistry, etc. have a slightly higher English language requirement that you can see listed again at the bottom of the slides. And some other courses still, particularly at undergraduate level, might have a lower IELTS requirement. Super. So where can you actually find our entry requirements? Obviously, in the 2 minutes that I'm recording this video, I cannot possibly cover the entry requirements for every course, for every available qualification a student might have. All of our web pages have a drop-down menu where you can choose a country in the world and a qualification that a student might have, and it will simply tell you the entry requirements. On the slide, I put an example up from Vietnam, just because that was the first country that came into my mind. But every single course will have an entry requirements section on it where you can cross-check a student's qualifications with what we are looking for. It's very, very simple, easy to use. It relies on drop-down menus, and I strongly encourage you to have a look if you've got students who are interested in applying to any of our courses. For those students who perhaps are slightly short of our entry requirements, who are close but not quite there, we can often make them an offer to study at International College Dundee. This is our partner pathway college, which is run through OIEG. So they would spend a year studying at International College Dundee, getting up either their English or their academic standards to a level where we could take them. And there's courses where they can move straight from that one-year program at International College Dundee, or ICD, into art and design, business, computer science, engineering, nursing, or others. So usually we would identify if a student applied to us and wasn't quite where we needed them to be, we could step in at that point and perhaps offer them a place at ICD, or a student who was of a lower academic standard could apply directly through International College Dundee. So another route that students can take potentially to join us at the university. Again, I commend everyone to look at the website where we've got quite detailed information on entry requirements. But for now, I'm going to draw this video to a close, and I will see you in the next one. Hello, in this video, I'm going to quickly summarize our tuition fees and scholarships at the University of Dundee. So let's just jump right in. The baseline figure for most of our degrees at both undergraduate and postgraduate level is £21,900 per year of study. We find that that figure is pretty competitive for a university of our size and caliber and location. But you should be aware that some of our laboratory-based courses and some other programs in science and engineering, for example, or the School of Life Sciences, might be as high as £26,600 per year of study. So that figure is accurate at the time of recording for 2024-2025 entry. Some courses may have additional surcharges for resources or use of facilities, but the baseline figure is £21,900 per year. Now, as we will discuss in a moment, it is very rare that students actually pay that amount of money. We have lots of scholarships that reduce that figure, but £21,900, the base figure, which is often reduced. We'll talk about that in a second. We have a quite straightforward deposit plan here at Dundee. So we request a £5,000 tuition fee deposit. Certain sponsored students do not have to pay a deposit if they can show evidence of sponsorship. But for the majority of students matriculating with us, we ask for a £5,000 deposit before we can issue CAS. We don't think that's unusual, but we think just worth flagging up. £5,000 deposit is what we ask for before we can proceed with CAS. There we are. For scholarships, it's important to note that lots of these are available to many people. So we have an academic excellence scholarship, which is based on a student's grades, either at undergraduate or postgraduate level. It is a £5,000 tuition fee reduction. So if a student has performed very well in their undergraduate degree and they're progressing to us to do a postgraduate program, if they have achieved the equivalent of a first in their undergraduate degree, then we would reduce their tuition fees by £5,000 per year. At undergraduate level, depending on the high school level of qualification that they are coming to the university with, again, if it's strong enough academically, we can give them a £5,000 per year tuition fee discount, which applies to every single year the student studies with us. For students who are not eligible for academic or for global excellence, academic excellence, same thing, we offer a global citizenship scholarship. So this is a short application. It's a 300-word essay where the student has to tell us why they're a good global citizen. And we absolutely encourage our agent partners to assist the student in writing that essay if required. but that is a £4,000 per year tuition fee reduction. So instead of paying £21,900, if a student was eligible for global citizenship, that would be £17,900 per year of study instead. So a vastly reduced over the kind of sticker price that is advertised on the University of Dundee's website. Unfortunately, these scholarships cannot be combined. It is one or the other, but we find that many students who apply to us are eligible for either global/academic excellence or global citizenship. So we strongly encourage you to support students in finding out more about those scholarships where applicable. That's it for this section of the video, folks. As you can see, I'll talk about the agent quality framework in the next video, but for now, thank you again for your attention, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, everyone. This will be a very short video where I talk about the agent quality framework. So the University of Dundee expects any of our agent partners to comply with this document and this code of conduct as set down here by regulators. Here, it's worth noting that the University of Dundee performs particularly well in subject rankings within the United Kingdom. So whilst our world ranking is what it is, you will see that we do exceptionally well for individual subjects and for university ranking schemes within the UK. All of these rankings are available on the website if you find that you have a student who's particularly persuaded by rankings. Other than that, I hope these videos have been useful. It has been quite a process, and I hope that you've stuck with us through all of these. It only remains for me to thank you very, very much for your time. I hope you've learned something, and hopefully we can partner together and see some students arriving in Dundee very soon. Take care, have a really good day, and I'll see you in the future. Take care.
Alright guys, it's a wrap here from the University of Dundee. The campus tour is over. I must say that I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. You saw it for yourself. The University of Dundee is, one of the very best universities right here in Scotland. Amazing campus, amazing facilities. You can't get it wrong if you decide that you want to study here. This is my first time, thoroughly coming here and thoroughly been going through the city and seeing the campus for myself. I've really enjoyed myself, and I can't wait to come back to this place and see it all over again. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. Let me know in the comment section which part of this campus that you enjoy the most. If you want to study here at the University of Dundee, I'll put the link to the university's official website in the description box below. Go ahead, check the university out, look out for any course that you want to study. I'll see you guys again in the next video. Peace. Bye bye. You know that I'm
the fourth largest city in Scotland, and once upon a time one of the most important ports in the entire world. Today a major cosmopolitan city, Dundee is home to many fascinating historic landmarks like this, the Tower of St Mary, one of the oldest structures in the city, which was built all the way back in the late 15th century. Popularly known as the Steeple Church, the tower is a rare remnant of the medieval age amid a city composed mostly of grand Victorian-era buildings. Although here, we can also see the Old Town Cross, which dates from 1586 and historically marked the site of markets in Dundee, held just a few blocks north of where we are now. The cross was moved to this central point of the city in 1874, situated in front of the rather unusual City Churches building, comprised not just of the Steeple Church, once upon a time the largest parish church in Scotland, but 4 separate churches all located under one roof, the oldest being Dundee Parish Church, or St Mary's, at the other end of the building. Between 1782 and 1841, there were 4 Church of Scotland congregations that made use of the City Churches building here, although since the 1980s, that number has reduced to just 2 congregations. The reason for this anomaly is the fairly action-packed history of what was originally just one church. Dundee Parish Church was first built in the 12th century, but was burned down on 2 separate occasions. First, by invading English armies in 1303, and then allegedly by accident in 1547, although this too was during an English occupation of Dundee, when the church was used as stables for their cavalry. Over the years, different parts of the church building here on Nethergate were destroyed and rebuilt at different times, and as such, they began to be used as separate churches, ultimately reaching the point where, when Dundee no longer found itself under attack, 4 separate congregations were utilising 4 separate parts of the building. The history of Dundee's City Churches building and the city's role in the Church of Scotland goes even further, and we'll talk more about that later on in our walk. At the foot of Dundee Parish Church, meanwhile, we find the first of what you'll later see is a delightful range of sculptures in the city centre. These cheeky penguins representing the city's unofficial animal mascot. You'll find a number of penguin statues all over Dundee nowadays, and it's said that the penguin represents the many explorers and inventors to have come out of this city over the years, most notably in the form of the builders and sailors of the RRS Discovery, which in 1901 embarked on the very first extensive expedition to the British Antarctic Territory, during which time the first sighting of an emperor penguin was recorded. The RRS Discovery, a symbol of Dundee's historic maritime, scientific and industrial might, today remains moored on the city's waterfront, overlooking the mighty Firth of Tay. The Firth of Tay, where Scotland's longest river flows out into the North Sea, has long been a major part of Dundee's illustrious history, with the city situated at an advantageous point that allowed it to develop as Scotland's premier port in the medieval period. But speaking of the Firth of Tay, it's about time that we took a look at a map to see just where Dundee is located in Scotland. As you can see here, Dundee sits on the north bank of the mighty Firth, and in the historic county of Angus, a region often nicknamed the birthplace of Scotland. That moniker comes from nearby Arbroath, where the Kingdom of Scotland asserted its independence back in the year 1320, although Dundee has been the most significant settlement throughout much of the history of Angus. Here we now find ourselves at the very centre of the modern city, on the High Street. The High Street is the historic site of the marketplace, and it's today lined with grand buildings that served as townhouses for wealthy merchants, grand banks, exclusive restaurants, and more. But there's perhaps no landmark greater than the immense Caird Hall here. Just over 100 years ago, this part of Dundee was known as the Vault, a cramped, overcrowded area packed with narrow closes like you'd find in Edinburgh. However, in the 1910s, a wealthy merchant by the name of Sir James Caird donated up to £100,000 for the building of a new city hall and council chambers, while the Caird Hall in front of us here was built as a spectacular new concert venue in 1923. Now, although many characterful 18th and 19th century buildings bearing resemblance to Edinburgh's Old Town had to make way, the three buildings that occupy the site of the Vault today are impressive symbols of the wealth and stature that Dundee had gained by the early 20th century, on the back of its position at the heart of many international industries, particularly the global trade of jute, which we'll talk more about shortly. But long before the jute trade took prominence in this city, Dundee was still a thriving settlement, and by many measures, Scotland's second city after Edinburgh, with its geographical position on the Firth of Tay and facing the North Sea, allowing it to develop as the country's most significant port. Despite that status, however, the city's footprint wasn't all that big, occupying just these few streets inside what is today the Market Gate in a ring road, hence why cramped and overcrowded areas like the Vault came into being as the city continued to grow over time. Here on the centuries-old High Street, meanwhile, we find a popular statue of one Desperate Dan, the mascot of the Dandy, the old children's comic which was published from right here in Dundee between 1937 and 2013, starring as one of the most famous comics in Britain in the 20th century, and the third longest running comic of all time. Later on in our walk, we'll pass by the headquarters of the Dandy's publishers, DC Thomson & Co., who have been based in Dundee for nearly 120 years. The wide High Street here, meanwhile, was historically the site of Dundee's bustling marketplace, which existed from the year 1191, when what was then the small medieval port town of Dundee became a royal borough, a crucial stepping stone in the growth of Dundee's port, as this gave it the rights to trade internationally as well as domestically. As a result, Dundee's local market also became uniquely varied in Scotland, selling exotic products like French wines, European textiles and Spanish fruits that had been imported from overseas, which attracted traders from all over Scotland. Where market stalls once packed the centre of Dundee, in front of us there now stands this beautiful city centre building of the 1870s. Topped with a statue of Britannia and decorated with a number of other lavish figures, this was originally a branch of the Clydesdale Bank, designed in a striking Renaissance style that evokes the wealth and grandeur of Dundee during the height of the Victorian period. But just down here beside the old bank, we're walking along what appear to be old tram tracks, and in front of us is one of the last remaining horse-drawn trams in existence today, which carried passengers around Dundee city centre during the late 1870s. Those horse-drawn trams were some of the earliest used in Dundee, but steam and later electrified trams became all the rage in the world of urban transport in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In fact, at the peak of Dundee's tram network in 1932, there were as many as 79 different lines ferrying people all over the city, which by that point had swelled to encompass a huge urban area lining the northern bank of the Firth of Tay. Now here there stands another prominent landmark in the heart of Dundee, a soaring church building known as St Paul's Cathedral, which was built in 1855 to serve as the new seat of the Bishop of Brechin, part of the Scottish Episcopal Church, which had begun to emerge from a number of decades of suppression in the country when this church was constructed. And down at the foot of St Paul's Cathedral, there stands an impressive statue of Adam Duncan, a famous son of Dundee who went on to serve as an admiral in the Royal Navy. Born, brought up and resident in Dundee for much of his life, Duncan is best known as the Admiral of the Fleet during the Battle of Camperdown in 1797, where he led the Royal Navy to victory over the Dutch Navy off the coast of North Holland. At the time, the victory at Camperdown was acclaimed as the greatest in British history, as Duncan's fleet managed to destroy 11 Dutch ships without losing a single one of their own, sending a clear message to Britain's rivals in the seas as to the Royal Navy's strength. The legacy of Adam Duncan's naval triumphs is just one part of Dundee's illustrious maritime history, as ships departed from this port for far-flung destinations like Antarctica, as we mentioned earlier, and many more hitherto unexplored places. But here, there stands a sculpture of a polar bear attacking a Dundee local, depicting an event that actually happened in this city back in 1878. The story goes that a polar bear, brought to Dundee for show, escaped his handlers and began causing havoc around the city for several hours. Apparently the bear was only apprehended after it followed a lady into a local tailor's, where it became enamoured by its own reflection, distracted for long enough for his handlers to get a rope around him once again. Having made our way out of the heart of Dundee now, we're walking along Castle Street, which links the High Street with the city's waterfront. But Castle Street is interesting for a couple of other reasons. For one, this road is much narrower than the wide open High Street, and this is of deliberate design. All of the streets linking the waterfront with the High Street were built to be much narrower, so as to prevent the cold winds coming off the Firth of Tay and the North Sea from sweeping up into the idyllic heart of the Victorian city, where people were perusing shops and going about their business. What's more, as the name suggests, Castle Street leads in the direction of where there was once a castle. Dundee Castle, though long since gone, stood on the site now occupied by St Paul's Cathedral, which we saw a minute or so ago. The castle was built all the way back in the 12th century under the reign of King William, and it stood at the heart of the burgeoning medieval town. However, though once an important fortress, Dundee Castle was fairly short-lived, as after it had been captured by the forces of the English King Edward I at the turn of the 14th century, it was ultimately destroyed, after a successful capture by the Scots forces of Robert the Bruce. Now, having reached the bottom of Castle Street, we won't be able to walk along the waterfront today, as regeneration work is underway to further modernise the riverside in Dundee. But here, as we look back up towards the rear of the Caird Hall, we would have once had very wet ankles standing here. Roughly 300 years ago, the waves of the Firth of Tay would lap against the shore here at the foot of Castle Street. But here, as we look up at the former city assembly rooms, the dangers of the sea were all too much for this to remain the case. The assembly rooms, now the Grand Exchange Coffee House, were built in 1828 above what was once the bustling Packhouse Square. Packhouse Square, formerly a great warehouse complex built to serve the port of Dundee from 1644, was one of the most important points in the city at the time. But in 1755, the warehouses were submerged deep beneath the water after a devastating disaster. In November of that year, a monumental earthquake hit just off the coast of Lisbon in Portugal, and as well as devastating that city, the quake caused a huge tsunami that rocked coastal cities right across Europe, including Dundee here, which is said to have been hit with a 50-foot-high tidal wave that annihilated its historic harbour and the many buildings that stood here by the shore. In response to the devastation, Dundee's shoreline was raised significantly, with Exchange Street here built about 14 feet above the old Packhouse Square, and over time, reclaimed land further out towards the Firth of Tay has extended protections for the heart of the city should another wave come along. But of course, long before the devastation of the tsunami of 1755, this part of Dundee was perhaps its most spectacular, as these streets surrounded what was the impressive Dundee Castle. As we mentioned, the castle, which was built all the way back in the 12th century, is now gone without a trace, but the site it once occupied has been through all manner of changes over time. While the castle once looked directly over the Firth of Tay at the foot of these steep streets, it was also passed by a small stream, known as Scouring Burn, which, despite being almost entirely invisible today, still flows through the heart of Dundee, albeit underneath the buildings that we can see around us here on Commercial Street. But while St Paul's Cathedral now towers above the point where Dundee Castle stood, the heart of the city here has become the home of a spectacular range of ornate Victorian buildings, magnificent landmarks that you can find on pretty much every street in central Dundee. As we've spoken about, this impressive architecture is symbolic of the wealth and grandeur that developed in Dundee as a result of the Industrial Revolution. As such, the Victorian buildings that line the city streets today give it an atmosphere reminiscent of other great industrial cities in Britain, such as Glasgow, Manchester and Leeds. But the difference with Dundee is that its streets have been around a whole lot longer. Here, we're now walking onto Seagate, another major road that has existed in the heart of Dundee for many years, leading from the eastern edge of its perimeter to the central point around the castle. However, while Seagate has plenty of history under its belt, this street was shaped most significantly by an incident that happened just over 100 years ago, in 1906, when a spectacular fire caused huge damage along the street and spread further across the city. The epicenter of the Great Fire took place just a few doors down from these, the former Robertson's Whiskey Bond buildings, a grand warehouse where whiskey was blended and stored, often ready for export around the UK or overseas. Just along from the road here were the Whiskey Bond buildings of Watson & Co., which on the 19th of July 1906 erupted into a blaze as large vats of whiskey caught fire and exploded. More than annihilating many of the warehouses that lined Seagate here, the fire also sent flaming alcohol flying into the air, which rained down upon people fleeing danger. But despite it raining burning alcohol, the fire caused many people elsewhere in Dundee to rush to this part of the city, as people were amazed by what are described to have been rivers of blue-flamed burning whiskey flowing through the city streets into the drains. The fire burned for 12 hours, laying waste to much of this eastern sector of the city centre, and the blaze was so bad that firefighters were called from as far away as Edinburgh to help put it out. Despite the widespread damage, Dundee quickly rebuilt itself, with many new Whiskey Bond warehouses simply replacing the destroyed old ones within a year of the fire, as the city continued to press ahead with its still thriving commerce. Passing by the busy Murraygate, now a pedestrianised shopping street that still bears the old tram lines in its pavement, we're now going to make our way along Commercial Street to what was once the northern edge of Dundee, today home to more impressive landmarks. But as we walk between these grand buildings, we mentioned that the port of Dundee found success in the 19th century as it became the centre of the global trade of jute. But how exactly did that come about? Well, the British trade of jute, a type of fibre second only to cotton in the manufacture of affordable textiles, originated in the Indian subcontinent, where it had been used for thousands of years. In the 19th century, many jute mills were established around Dundee, as the city's position on the Firth of Tay on Scotland's east coast made it easily accessible for ships importing jute from India. But Dundee was also a city which had a thriving whaling industry, and it was discovered by millers in Dundee that the use of whale oil could be used for the processing of jute, rather than by hand as had been done before. By the end of the 19th century, most workers in Dundee were employed in the jute industry, and this remained a major part of the city's economy for decades afterwards, with the last jute mill here only closing in the 1970s. But the fruits of Dundee's enduring jute industry can still be seen clearly today, from grand landmarks like the McManus Art Gallery, which we'll talk more about in a moment, to the many more eye-catching Victorian and Edwardian buildings that line the city's streets. Here we find ourselves in a part of the city known as the Meadows, historically the site of luscious meadows through which scouring burn flowed. In the 19th century, however, many major institutions decided to move from the heart of the city to this area, including the Royal Exchange here, which was built in 1855. Once upon a time, the Royal Exchange was much bigger than it is today, topped with a great spire, but the waterlogged foundations of the former meadows meant that the building's foundations kept slipping, and so the spire on the Royal Exchange was removed. At the heart of the meadows, however, there stands the beautiful McManus Art Gallery, surrounded by a number of impressive statues, like that of James Carmichael here, a Glaswegian engineer who moved to Dundee and founded the firm J&C Carmichael, manufacturing steam engines for boats used in the area, like the ferry across the Tay, and later further developments for the many ships that departed the port of Dundee. A little further around the perimeter of the McManus, meanwhile, we find this ornate statue of Queen Victoria, commissioned to celebrate her Diamond Jubilee in 1897. Interestingly, while this pose is now iconic of the Queen, the depiction here in Dundee was controversial for its time, as many felt it depicted Victoria in too realistic and unflattering a light. Now, the grand building that stands behind the statue of the Queen was originally constructed in the late 1860s as a memorial to her late husband, Prince Albert. At the time, the McManus was the largest memorial to Albert outside London, and it originally served as a reading room known as the Albert Institute. Standing just across the road from the beautiful Panmure Trinity Church, the old Albert Institute was extended further in the late 19th century, with the building of new art galleries and museum galleries, serving a function that the McManus, as it became known later on in life, retains to this day. Passing by this statue of George Kinloch, a Dundee-born MP of the mid-19th century, who was at one point outlawed for campaigning for popular rights and against slavery, the many statues that surround the McManus here tell the illustrious story of Dundee through a number of famous figures. And as we mentioned at the start of our walk, Dundee is absolutely packed with statues and sculptures wherever you look, with the city home to over 500 pieces of public art. This density of public art has earned Dundee the title of City of Design, from none other than UNESCO, and the McManus here is another symbol of that groundbreaking design and ingenuity that Scotland was brimming with in the 19th century. And just out in front of the McManus, there stands another grand statue of none other than Robert Burns, Scotland's national poet who traversed Scotland collecting folk songs, and who visited Dundee in 1787, describing it as a low-lying but pleasant town. Also in the world of writing, opposite Robert Burns' statue here is the Courier Building, an American-inspired office block of 1906 and the headquarters of D.C. Thomson & Co., who, as we know, were the publishers of The Dandy, as well as a number of newspapers and magazines still published across Scotland today. In fact, D.C. Thomson & Co. are just one part of Dundee's historic journalistic heritage, and along with the jute trade, and a long and famous association with marmalade, Dundee has often been known as the city of jute, jam and journalism. But just across from the Courier Building, there stands another immense city centre landmark. This ornate temple-style building is the High School of Dundee. This building, originally the boys' school, dates from 1834, but the history of the city's high school goes back even further. Today the only private school in Dundee, and home to over 1,000 students, the High School of Dundee was established well over 700 years ago in the year 1239, when it was founded as a grammar school by the monks of an abbey over in Fife. Over its centuries of history, the high school has become a well-established part of the city of Dundee, today making use of no less than 7 major buildings around the city centre, most centred around the meadows, and many of which do indeed date from that period of flourishing development in the city in the 19th and 20th centuries. But now, we're walking into one of the oldest parts of Dundee today, an area known as the Wardlands. One of the main features of the Wardlands is the cemetery that we can see across the road from us here. Historically, it's known as the Howth, a name which originates from the Scots word for a meeting place. But originally, the space that the Howth occupies was used as the orchard of the largest Grey Friars monastery in Scotland. But in 1564, it was gifted to the city of Dundee by Mary, Queen of Scots. Many of the graves you'll find inside the Howth today date from long before most of the buildings that surround it, while a number are dedicated to the most famous figures in Dundee's history. Just at the western end of the Howth, there stands an extra part of the McManus that we saw a few moments ago. This building is the McManus Collections, home to exhibitions on archaeology, natural history, and the history of Dundee itself. The McManus is certainly one of the great cultural attractions of modern Dundee. But as we make our way onto Congregation Street, we'll find a striking church building that tells us of the riveting religious significance of this city too. Really standing out among its neighbours, the white building here is Dundee Congregational Church, opened in 1833, and which is just one of the many different denominations of churches that can be found around the centre of Dundee. Of course, in the medieval era, there was only one church in Scotland, the Catholic Church. But in the mid-16th century, the revolutionary Scottish Reformation caused the country to split with the Vatican.
To Talent for Tech, you'll find the best possible start to your career in the UK. We created the world's first modern computer and the first ever computer science degree. Today, we offer thousands of courses, including some of the world's best. So you can immerse yourself in anything from AI to networks, forensics, and software engineering, personalising your learning as you go. So you have everything you need to plug into a global digital economy worth $11.5 trillion for a career that can take you anywhere. If you want to turn marketing research and insights into compelling campaigns, you'll find the best possible start in the UK. We've always been home to big ideas and creative campaigns. Today, some of the world's brightest talent are helping to grow groundbreaking brands right here, with over 140 universities to choose from, including 2 of the best in the world. You'll discover how to use audience insights to shape the perfect strategy in a rapidly changing digital landscape. Turn the art of communication into a career that cuts through, so you can connect with audiences and employers anywhere.
If you want to shape the built environment in the 21st century, you'll get the best possible start in the UK. We've been creating mind-blowing structures for centuries, and today our world-class universities produce 4,500 architects every year. You'll be learning at the cutting edge, embracing the latest materials, technology, and ideas. Our flexible courses mean you can specialize the way you want to, building the experience from the ground up for a career that will help shape the way people work and live for generations.
If you want to learn about social behaviour and the ways social theory can improve our lives, you'll find the best possible start in the UK. We were home to one of the first sociological societies, and journals, and professors. Today, we have 2 of the best universities in the world, helping to shape theories that can impact everything, from economics to public health. And there are nearly 1,700 sociology courses to choose from, offering world-class teaching and insights. So you can tailor the skills you need for a great career, whatever you're interested in. Get a brilliant degree and the social experience you need to thrive anywhere. If you want to practice law, you'll get the best possible study experience in the UK. Our justice system inspired the world, from the laws that drive business to the ones that keep societies safe. You'll have the best possible expertise on hand. Our world-recognised universities have all the case history you need to shape the future. Discover skills, insights and knowledge you can put into practice anywhere. If you want the edge for your career in sport, get the best possible boost in the UK. Our sporting history is truly special. From inspirational teams to unforgettable achievements, No one knows more about bringing passion, ambition, and innovation together. We have the best sports university in the world, and with some of the best possible coaches, facilities, and technology, who knows what you'll achieve? Show the world what you're capable of.
If you want to go places in medicine, start your studies in the best possible way in the UK. Our medical insights have helped billions, and today our universities are pioneering some of the best possible treatments. Whatever your specialism, you can develop your skills on state-of-the-art equipment in real health settings, so you're immersed in the global language of cutting-edge care. You can do more with a medicine degree from the UK. If you want to shine in art and design, you'll find the best possible start in the UK. Our creative industries and icons are legendary. And with thousands of art and design degrees on offer, we can cater for everything you can imagine. With teachers on hand to share world-class insights and real-world expertise, you'll blend theory with practice and lots of collaboration, and leave with a deep understanding of the technologies, the industries, and the creative thinking you need to make your mark. If you want to use your engineering skills to help fight climate change, you'll get the best possible start in the UK. Our world-class universities and inspirational teachers help thousands of graduates harness the innovation, the imagination, and the determination they need to make a difference. The UK's renewables industry is booming, and new collaborations can come from anywhere, from battling waste to managing water. You'll get the skills you need to save lives and support the planet for a career that can take you anywhere.
If you want to study accounting and finance, a UK degree adds up to one of the best possible starts. London has been a key financial centre since the Middle Ages, and our insights and ambition have helped build some of the biggest organisations and best financial teaching in the world. With over 4,000 accounting and finance courses to choose from, you'll graduate with a solid understanding of the numbers that drive successful companies, as well as the analytical and creative thinking needed to lead a global organisation in the 21st century. So you can take on bold business challenges anywhere in the world. If you want to understand the ways wealth moves and grows around the world, you'll get the best possible insights in the UK. We've been shaping modern economics for hundreds of years, and our industrial heritage made us a focal point for some of the world's most influential economic ideas. Today, we have the 5th biggest economy and 3 of the best universities for economics in the world. There are more than 1,200 economics courses offered in the UK, with world-class teachers ready to shed light on real-world challenges. So whether you want to work in finance, journalism, or another field entirely, you can get ready for the global jobs market. If you're looking at a career in artificial engineering and robotics, you'll get the best possible spark in the UK. AI and robotics are playing vital roles in the world's most advanced industries. From manufacturing to medicine, and the UK is helping to lead the way. We're saving lives, changing lives, and shaping life as we all know it for the 21st century. Get your hands on state-of-the-art robotic technology and kickstart a career that can take you anywhere. If you're passionate about the future of farming, give your career the best possible grounding in the UK. The UK has inspired some of agriculture's greatest innovations, and our world-class universities are helping to shape Agriculture 4.0, making farming more precise, more resilient, and more sustainable for everyone. Grow the future and a global career with some of the best minds and facilities in the world. If you care about a career in nursing, the best possible start is waiting for you in the UK. We've been setting the standard for professional nursing since Florence Nightingale, who founded the first ever nursing school here in 1860. Now we're home to 3 of the best, where you can specialise in every aspect of modern care, from midwifery to learning disabilities. You'll get to hone your skills in real health settings while using state-of-the-art kit and the global language of healthcare. Great nurses find their feet and their futures in the UK. Got your sights set on a career in cybersecurity? Give yourself the smartest possible start in the UK. In the digital age, cyber threats can come from anywhere, and the UK is among the world's best at predicting and resisting them. With world-class universities and nearly 100 cybersecurity courses, you'll find some of the world's brightest minds and smartest virtual labs, so you can grow the skills you need to hack it in a global jobs market. If you want to go places in hospitality and tourism, you'll find the best possible welcome in the UK. We're home to some of the world's most popular and hospitable destinations. As well as some of the best specialist teaching you'll find anywhere. From the sustainable to the spectacular, the logistical and the digital, you'll learn the recipe for creating 5-star experiences and connect with industry leaders who are already delivering them. The original international career starts here. If you're fascinated by the way people think and behave, you'll get the best possible insights into human psychology in the UK. From the conscious decisions we make every day, to our unconscious desires and dreams, and the neuroscience that underpins it all. The UK is home to 3 of the world's best universities for psychology, and almost 1,000 psychology courses, so you can gain world-class insights using world-class technology, whilst tailoring your learning for the career you want. Whether that's understanding children or inspiring champions, just think, you could make the next great psychological discovery. Imagine that. Planning a future in politics? Get the best possible start with a political science degree from the UK. We've been pioneering political ideas for centuries and helping world leaders find their voice. With some of the best possible universities and expertise, we can shape the debate and share the insights you need to see the bigger picture, so you can start your career with a degree that's recognised everywhere.
If you've got a brain for business, give your plans the best possible start. In the UK, we're a nation of entrepreneurs. With the world's top financial city, and with over 100 business schools, you can count on some of the best possible business knowledge to learn a great deal more. Whether you want to be a captain of industry or just be your own boss? Start developing the skills and instincts you need right here. If you have a drive for discovery, ignite your career with the best possible scientific and technological minds in the UK. Our scientific discoveries have provided some of the UK's greatest human leaps. Our universities are at the forefront of research, with teachers who know how to expand your thinking, so you have the discipline and imagination to help make the next generation of discoveries and create the next generation of innovations. When you study science and technology in the UK, you open your mind to so much more.
If you're serious about gaming, get the best possible power-up in the UK. We're at the cutting edge of the art form, from the most advanced real-world renders to character creation and esports. We've got some of the best possible universities, plugged into thousands of businesses taking their games global. Whether you want to design, innovate, or just play, there's nowhere better to immerse yourself in gaming.
We are a nation of independent thinkers, daring dreamers, and curious creatives. Come and study in the UK and fulfil your potential.
I chose to study in the UK because of the opportunities it gave me to continue my love for dance.
Be surrounded by art and history, discover new communities and inspirational places.
Here you have so many experiences and so many opportunities in arts and music. I'm completely in love.
I came here to look for other avenues, other mediums. I wanted to be more experimental. I wanted to push boundaries.
Hone your craft and push your limits.
It does definitely give me a competitive edge in the different trainings and different styles of ballet. If you can do that and if you can pick it up, you're going to be that dancer that's been chosen.
Learn from the best in places and spaces where you thrive.
The facilities are all amazing, and the overall support of the teachers and the insight from professional dancers just contributes to a great experience.
Feel truly welcomed as you collaborate, create, develop and grow with limitless opportunities and fantastic facilities.
It's fantastic to be able to throw myself at so many different experiences. I was really missing this component in my life.
I will play actually with the BBC Philharmonic next year. I never thought that could have been possible. This experience changed my life and will change my future as well.
Being in Scotland, doing what I love, it's a dream come true. If an opportunity does present itself to you, just take it.
Invest in your future and fuel your passion. Discover what's possible in the UK.
For other avenues, other mediums to bring into my practice. I didn't expect the course to be as intense as it is, and I love that it is. I have found that my critical thinking skills are being pushed way more than they were back at home, and that I really appreciate that. A big part of being in Bournemouth is access to nature, seeing how that can add to mark-making practice. I may go back home and reflect on my course material because I've got so much food for thought. I think it'll last me a few years.
The benefit of studying in the UK and studying abroad, you get different trainings and different styles of ballet. If I'm able to learn from all these different styles, it makes me more adaptable. We have 4 wonderful, great ballet studios. Honestly, the facilities are all amazing, and the insight from professional dancers just contributes to a great experience. I've been given many opportunities to work with Scottish Ballet and their youth exchange program. I don't feel like I would have gotten this far without the support of my community. Glaswegians are some of the nicest people I've ever met.
I will play actually with the BBC Philharmonic next year. I never thought that could have been possible. I just did a masterclass with a very famous international cellist, which was really amazing. All the opportunities here definitely make me a better musician. UK is a country that never makes you feel alone. I know that it's not easy to move to another country, but I feel that it's definitely worth it. You have the opportunity to be the person that you always dreamed to be.
There's so many opportunities, especially here, for my career development, and I really like the culture. I really like the people here.
I'm currently working with the elite judo athletes. It's an amazing experience to be working with Olympic athletes. It's an amazing experience.
You know, all the different clubs and societies available at universities here have really been helpful with me developing my passion and finding out the things that I love doing for hobbies.
Engineering is about more than machines and structures. It's about making a real-world impact, changing lives, solving global challenges, and transforming our world for the better. With world-class facilities and a global reputation for academic brilliance, UK universities offer aspiring engineers the chance to excel in their chosen fields. From building iconic bridges to revolutionising urban infrastructure, our vast range of courses allows students to specialise and tailor their studies to industries that inspire them most.
The Engineering Makerspace is a place where students can design, build and test our engineering projects and inventions. We can build rockets, racing cars, humanoid robotics and sustainable projects like wind turbines.
Students enjoy studying here within our faculty. We've got state-of-the-art technology, so all our student community can use.
An engineering degree from the UK is more than just theory. It's about practical skills and real-world application, with many courses including work placements or a year in industry.
I didn't know what placement was until I joined the team here. They told me about, all those different people that did really well. They all joined F1. One guy went to McLaren.
We have been asked to do some work on the Sunbeam vehicle. This is the first vehicle to reach the land speed record of 200 miles per hour. I'm going to be one of the few people to have carried out research on the Sunbeam, so it's something that's going to stand out on my CV, and something that I can be really proud of.
These invaluable links to leading companies mean graduates are equipped to succeed from day one. The UK is an inspirational place to live and study, with a proud history of engineering achievements. The Shard, the London Underground, and the world's largest offshore wind farm, to name a few. Walking in the footsteps of great engineers like Roma Agrawal, Isambard Kingdom Brunel and James Dyson, students have the chance to join a legacy of innovation and excellence. It's a nation where innovation thrives and diversity is celebrated, opening doors for all. Start your journey in the UK and be part of engineering's next great chapter.
Cultures unite.
And futures are written.
England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales, all inspiring places to study, where individual and diverse perspectives are celebrated. From breathtaking beaches and ancient ruins, to cascading waterfalls and wild coastal cliffs, this land of opportunity thrives on collaboration.
Come and be a part of it.
Here in the UK, classrooms spark possibility.
Spaces where voices from every corner of the globe come together.
At our great universities, history and heritage meet innovation. Every field of study is led by world-renowned academics and professionals. Practical learning and expert guidance ensure graduates leave career-ready, equipped with the skills that thrive at a global marketplace. Part of a network that supports you long after you graduate. But this isn't just about learning.
It's about belonging.
It's in the music, the food, and the friendships formed over cups of tea and shared ambitions. Absorbing the energy of bustling city squares, the quiet and calm of the countryside, the ease of hopping on a train and discovering the whole of the UK. The opportunities for growth are endless. It's a place that will challenge you, support you, and then sit back and watch you thrive. The United Kingdom is more than a study destination. It's the launchpad for your future.
A place to grow. Be curious.
Be bold.
And discover who you are meant to be.
Growing up, the resources were very limited. Once I got here, I really started thriving.
I want to go back to my country and use the knowledge I've learned to improve my country's policy-making process.
You see things that you can change in someone's life. The future looks bright.
If you are someone who would really like to bring a change to the world, I would say this is for you.
My first semester definitely exceeded all expectations of studying medicine as an international student. It's been a good mixture of lectures, problem-based learning and clinical placements.
The lab facilities are absolutely up to date and cutting edge. This is a huge learning opportunity for all of us.
I found the transition to be a lot easier because of the great support system that we have here. My favorite thing about my course is we get sent to placement really early on. We actually got to see real patients in a GP setting.
If you are someone who would really like to bring a change to the world, I would say this course is for you.
I listened to one of the lecturers. I've never seen anyone speak with so much passion.
We have support, we have feedback. They will teach you things you need to know before going into placement. I've met so many tutors here. They are open to everybody, no matter who you are.
I love the way everyone cares for each other. It's like a community, it feels like a family.
Sitting here as a registered nurse, you see things that you can change in someone's life. It fills you up with joy. The future looks bright.
Growing up in Angola, the resources were very limited. Once I got here, I really started thriving, especially with science.
I chose biomedical science because it gives me the opportunity to contribute to breakthroughs in healthcare.
I've learned how to use certain equipment and diagnostic techniques to be able to analyze patient data, which I found very interesting. And I feel like I wouldn't have been able to gain this anywhere else.
I enjoy the challenge of working on a focused research project and the opportunity to collaborate with experienced scientists.
I have gained experience in microbiology, hematology, histology. These things are really essential to go into a health career, whether it's working in a clinical lab, research, or pursuing a master's or a PhD. I have collaborated with multiple people from diverse backgrounds. It has been a very rewarding journey.
The experience was amazing. The whole perspective changed. Now it's all global, and now I am thinking in a different way.
My experience has been fantastic. I enjoyed every bit of my course, particularly using the modern facility.
You have the opportunity to develop through advanced and more specialist roles. That gives you an opportunity to apply the theoretical skills that we've taught you, take them out into practical, and actually learn and interact with the patients and in the clinical environment.
Lecturers are very supportive. The course does a wonderful job preparing students for the future.
Being part of a community feels like being part of a family.
What I want to do after graduating is to go back to my country and use the knowledge I've learned to improve my country's policy-making process.
Hi, my name is Dr. Emily Rickman, and I'm an astrophysicist for the European Space Agency. I'm based in the US in Baltimore, Maryland, and I studied at the University of Sheffield, where I did a master's in physics and astrophysics.
Hi, my name is Nabil Kadir. I'm from Pakistan, and I've had the good fortune of studying at the University of Strathclyde Business School in the UK. Soon after I came back from Glasgow, from Strathclyde, I was able to get this rather very senior role in the government, and I was able to serve as the Director of Entrepreneurship for about 5 years in one of the largest provinces of Pakistan.
My name is Saad Zubairi and I'm a Pakistani multimedia journalist and documentary filmmaker specializing in human interest storytelling that serves the public interest. Deciding to do my second master's from the UK was probably one of the best decisions that I made in my academic and professional journey so far. The pool of knowledge and experiences that I was able to tap into while in the program was really quite remarkable.
Hi everyone. My journey from Cambridge to Kabul epitomizes passion and perseverance. As a mid-career professional from India, determined to work in education and emergency settings, led me to take up the role of an unpaid intern at the Ministry of Education in Afghanistan.
If someone had told me even just a few years ago that I would be working with the European Space Agency and NASA and the Canadian Space Agency on some of the biggest missions that we've ever launched, then I would not believe that that would be true. But here I am, and I think it's really important to raise the profile so that other prospective students who are considering studying in the UK can see what the possibilities are for people that have gone on to study things that they may be interested in or consider careers that perhaps they hadn't thought about before. You can really do whatever it is that you want to do. There is space for everyone in the space industry, and I hope that more people consider joining us.
I also happen to be someone who's set up Pakistan's first of its kind startup incubator that literally set grounds for an entrepreneurial ecosystem in Pakistan ever since 2012-13. Today, Pakistan stands with a very thriving ecosystem with venture capitalists at play, angel investors at play, mentors, facilitators, and of course, amazing entrepreneurs building amazing products and services.
Since graduation, I've had the privilege of working with some of the world's best media organizations and production companies, as well as some incredible people who've done some brilliant and meaningful work. I've dedicated my career to telling important stories that need to be told because it's important to speak up and become the voice of those who don't have one. The benefit of receiving an education among people from different countries, backgrounds, and cultures, and bring a lot of experience to the table is absolutely valuable.
My story is not just about overcoming challenges. It's a testament to the transformative power of education and resilience. I strongly believe that my experiences will inspire the next generation of change makers, both in education space and beyond. Studying in the UK was a transformational journey for me. It helped me realize my dreams. Cheers for an unforgettable journey. Thank you.
Choosing to study in the UK is an exciting opportunity that can open so many doors to your future. There are lots of different universities across the UK to choose from, and if you're interested in global rankings, the UK has many that consistently rank in the top 200 worldwide. For international students, there are two ways to apply. You can choose to apply directly to the university or via UCAS. Most undergraduate applications are made via UCAS, and most postgraduate applications are made directly to the university.
For undergraduate students, you can apply to up to 5 courses through UCAS. If you're applying as a postgraduate student, you can apply to up to as many as you'd like.
To apply through UCAS, you need to go to ucas.com and register your details in their application system. If you apply straight to the university, visit their website so you can find out their process and their application form. For some courses, the application process is a little different. Visit our website so you can find out more.
Details you'll need to provide when you apply to university include your email address, possible support you might need while at university, your employment history, and your education history. You'll also be asked about your residential status and any special needs or impairments you might have. The UK welcomes almost 30,000 disabled students every year, so there's always plenty of support.
For employment history, if you've had any paid jobs, this is where you can enter this information. Include company names, addresses, and job descriptions, as well as start and finish dates. Any unpaid and voluntary work you have done is important too, and you can talk about this in your personal statement.
For education history, you need to enter all your qualifications from secondary education onwards. Make sure to add as much detail as you can. Qualifications are listed under name and country, but don't worry if you can't find yours. Just add it into the other box. If you're currently studying or still waiting on your results, make sure your referee adds your predicted grade, as your application will be considered incomplete without them.
As part of your application, you need to have a reference. This is a recommendation from someone who knows you academically or professionally, so not a family member or a friend, and you need to make sure that your reference is completed before you submit your application. Next comes the personal statement. This is the place where you talk about your skills, your hobbies, your interests, and why you've applied for the course that you've chosen. If you get stuck, don't worry, there are lots of templates online, including the UCAS personal statement tool to help you.
For undergraduates, the word count for your personal statement is about 500 words, so plan carefully what you want to say. For postgraduates, this is also usually the required length, but some universities may differ in their requirements, so make sure that you check with your institution before you start writing.
Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to draft and redraft your personal statement so it's as good as it can be. Include information like why you want to study in the UK and why you think you'll be a successful student. And make sure you get someone to proofread it before you submit it, like a family member or a friend.
If you're applying as an undergraduate, here are some key deadlines you need to meet. 15th of October for Oxford, Cambridge, and most courses in medicine, dentistry, and veterinary medicine. And 15th of January, which is the deadline for most undergraduate courses. To give yourself the best chance, we recommend you apply by the 15th of January. However, applications will still be received by the 30th of June.
If you're a postgraduate student, you'll need to apply by June or July for many of the postgraduate courses that start in September and October. But some courses start at a different time of the year, so check the application deadline and what the application process is on the university's website. As an international student, you'll need to apply for a student visa, but don't worry too much, as the university can help advise you. You can only apply for a student visa if you intend to study full-time in the UK.
If you need any more guidance, UCAS have a number of helpful videos on their website to talk you through anything you need in more detail. And finally, best of luck with your application.
Exploring the United Kingdom, and I want to share with you my favorite places, so here's my UK Top 25. Comprised of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, the UK is home to some of the most enchanting scenery on earth. From the rugged highlands of Scotland to the white sea cliffs of England, the UK has so much to offer. Let's start this video off in London. Located in southern England, I don't think there's a city more iconic than London. Everything from the double-decker buses to the energy of Piccadilly Circus makes the city just feel so alive. You can check out the iconic Big Ben and walk across the bridge to see the Palace of Westminster. There's the Tower Bridge, which is possibly the most famous bridge in all of London. You can see the Stoic Guards at Buckingham Palace or take a ride on the London Eye. What I personally loved about London was just walking around. There's just always something to see, whether it's a famous attraction or just peaceful park. If you haven't already been to London, I highly recommend giving it a visit when you can. There's no city quite like it in the world. After, let's head to Bath. Located about a 2 hours drive from London, Bath is a historic city with a beautiful river running through it. The main reason I wanted to come here was to see the Roman baths. When I think of the UK, Roman architecture doesn't come to mind, but this is one of the best preserved Roman baths in the world. It was constructed around 60 AD and it was used until the 5th century when the Romans left England. We did a tour of the springs and I was just amazed at the place. There was rooms for cold and hot water, a sauna, and so much more. I can't imagine what it must have been like to bathe here 2,000 years ago. Aside from the Roman bath, I really enjoyed just walking around the city. It's such a beautiful area. After, we're going to head to the nearby Cotswolds. Located about an hour from Bath, the Cotswolds is a region in England home to many quaint villages and enchanting scenery. One place I want to visit most was Castle Combe. It's this peaceful village that hasn't had any new houses built since 1600. It's been named one of the prettiest villages in England and I can totally see why. I really enjoy just walking through Castle Combe. It would be so cool to live here. If you're into trekking, you could consider doing the Cotswolds Way. It's a 102-mile walk that winds through the Cotswolds. You can do it over the course of several days, staying at new villages every night. The trek begins in Bath and ends in Chipping Campden. Along the way, you'll pass through numerous villages and attractions. One of my favorite stops on the Cotswolds Way is the Broadway Tower. It was built in the 18th century, and I just think it looks so epic as it's perched on the hill. Afterwards, we're going to head down to the Jurassic Coast. Located in southern England, it's famous for its white cliffs and picturesque beaches. One of the most famous spots on the Jurassic Coast is Durdledor. It's this limestone arch that goes straight into the ocean. When I came here, it was absolutely packed. It was a weekend and just a super hot day, so that's probably why. Regardless, the place was epic and the arch is massive. Another one of my favorite spots on the Jurassic Coast is Old Harry Rocks. I remember the first time I saw pictures of this place, I was just baffled by the scenery here. It's this uniquely shaped peninsula with white cliffs. It's located about a 2.5 hours drive from London, and to get there it was a decent walk on this flat path. When we got to the end, I couldn't believe the cliffs. They were huge and there were some uniquely shaped sea stacks. We came during the day and for sunset and unfortunately didn't have the best lighting, but when it's not cloudy, the sunrise and sunsets here look absolutely epic. After, we're going to visit the Isle of Wight. Located across the sea from Old Harry's Rocks, the Isle of Wight is the largest island in all of England. You can reach the Isle of Wight by taking a ferry from Southampton or by also taking the hovercraft ferry from Portsmouth. One of my favorite features of the Isle of Wight is the Needles Lighthouse. It's this 19th century lighthouse that is built upon these chalk sea stacks that jet out of the sea. It's such a unique location and I love the white sea cliffs in the background. After, we're going to head up to the Lake District. Located in northwestern England, the Lake District is known for its glacial ribbon lakes and its fell mountains. It's also home to Scafell Pike, which is the highest place in England with an elevation of 3,209 feet. One place I wanted to visit most here was Buttermere Lake. It is located in the northern part of the Lake District and its name means the lake by dairy pastures. We drove the skinny roads in and then hiked into the lake. It was a hot day, so there was a good amount of people enjoying the water. I wish I had brought my swimsuit. The lake looks so nice to swim in. Another one of my favorite features of the lake was this mountain that is perfectly placed. The whole area is just beautiful. I couldn't recommend the Lake District enough. Afterwards, let's head up to Scotland to visit Edinburgh. Located about an 8-hour drive from London, I have to say that Edinburgh is one of my all-time favorite European cities. You feel like you're walking back in time as you navigate its streets and alleyways. When I started traveling, this was one of the first cities I visited. It has a medieval old town with intricate neoclassical buildings, cobblestone streets, and beautiful gardens. The iconic Edinburgh Castle overlooks the city, and it's home to Scotland's crown jewels. I really enjoyed walking the streets that lead up to the castle. There's just so much going on and it was such a vibe. One of my favorite places in the city is Calton Hill. It offers an incredible 360 panorama of Edinburgh and there's some interesting monuments up there. While we're still in Edinburgh, we're going to head to Arthur's Seat. Now Arthur's Seat is located in Holyrood Park and it's a short walk from Edinburgh Centre. Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano with an elevation of 823 feet. When I was there, I wanted to get up as high as I could to see all of Edinburgh, and I made the hike up and reached the top. After I hiked to the top, I had a good time just walking around Holyrood Park and enjoying the views of one of the UK's most iconic cities. Afterwards, we're going to leave the city to head up to Dunnottar Castle. Located about a 2 hours drive from Edinburgh, this medieval fortress is full of history. Today, only the ruins remain to tell the castle's past. I really enjoyed walking around Dunnottar. There was a fee to enter, and we had a good time exploring this historical place. It always amazes me people's ability to build castles in the most peculiar places. After exploring the castle grounds, I really enjoyed walking on the nearby cliffs. They offer an amazing view of the castle, and the scenery here was just spectacular. After, we're on a venture up the coast to visit Ratway Head Lighthouse. Located about an hour's drive away, Rattray is this lighthouse located just off the coast. It was built in 1895 and it stands at 120 feet tall. To get there, it was an easy walk on some sand and coastal dunes. When we were there, the water was very calm and the lighting wasn't amazing, but when the sea is rough with waves pounding against the lighthouse, this place is epic. After, we're going to explore one of the most northern parts of mainland UK, Duncancy Stacks. Located about a 5.5 hour drive from Edinburgh, to get to the stacks, we parked by this lighthouse and then it was a really nice scenic walk through a green field full of sheep. After a few minutes, we made it to this viewpoint. We could have just kept going closer to the cliffs, but it was near sunset and we were running out of time. Regardless, I was amazed at the view of this place. The sea stacks were so jagged and it looked amazing with the light of the setting sun. It could definitely be a place where some dragons live. After, we're going to head to the nearby Orkney Islands. Located just north of mainland Scotland, the Orkney Islands are home to some enchanting landscapes. To get there, we took the ferry from Gills Bay and it was about an hour ride. It was super easy and convenient. Once we got to the Orkney Islands, we started to drive around. A good portion of the islands are connected by causeways, which is very nice. Now the main reason I wanted to come to Orkney was to visit the Ring of Brodgar. It's this ancient stone circle and is positioned on this narrow neck of land sandwiched between two lochs. It's believed that the ring was built sometime around 2500 BC and it's the third biggest stone circle in the UK. I really enjoyed walking around the circle. It makes you ponder why they were built here over 4,000 years ago. It's incredible these rocks still stand today. While we're still on the topic of Scotland's islands, we're gonna head to Shetland. Located between the Faroe Islands, Norway and Scotland, Shetland is an archipelago and the northernmost point of the UK. To reach it, you can fly there or also you can take a ferry from Kirkwall or Aberdeen and it's about a 14-hour journey. Lerwick is the main town of the Shetland Islands and has a population of around 7,000 people. And this archipelago is home to some incredible beaches such as St. Ninians, and there's so much incredible scenery on these islands. After, we're going to head to the Outer Hebrides. Located off the coast of western Scotland, the Outer Hebrides are the longest archipelago in the United Kingdom. To get there, you can fly or take ferries from Ullapool or the Isle of Skye. We took the ferry from the Isle of Skye and it was a very nice boat trip that was under 2 hours. We arrived in Tarbert and started exploring the biggest island of the Outer Hebrides, the Isle of Lewis and Harris. The scenery here was very rugged and beautiful, and there was tons of scenic views on the water. The main reason I wanted to come here was to visit the Callanish Stones. Of all the stone circles, I think this is my favorite. It looks like a scene straight out of Outlander. It's located on the northern side of the island, about a 30-minute drive from Stornoway. The stones date back to over 5,000 years ago, and it's believed to have been used in rituals. It was fascinating to walk amongst the stones. It makes you wonder how the stones were moved here and what their true purpose was. And it was such a magical area, and I'm glad we made the long journey to see them. While we were here, we wanted to visit some of the other islands in the archipelago. We decided to go to the North Uist Island. To get there, we took a ferry, and then it was fun to drive around. There were so many beautiful beaches and coastal areas. I mean, if it wasn't so cold, you would think you were on like some tropical island. Now, there's this place called West Beach that was right next to the ferry port. It was a huge beach with white sand, and there were some massive jellyfish washed up ashore. Afterwards, we're going to head to one of the most fascinating places in Scotland and the UK, St. Kilda. Located off the coast of the Outer Hebrides, St. Kilda is home to the highest sea cliffs in the UK. You can reach the island by going on a boat departing from the Isle of Harris, and it takes about 3 hours to reach the remote island. The history of St. Kilda is fascinating. It was inhabited thousands of years ago, but it was abandoned in 1930 due to several factors and just the overall difficulty of living there. Today, only sheep and ruins remain to tell the stories of the island's past. While you're here, you can hike around and explore this incredible part of Scotland. After, we're going to leave Scotland and head to Northern Ireland to visit Giant's Causeway. With its jagged cliffs and incredible views, it's one of the most recognizable places in all of Northern Ireland. The most distinct feature of Giant's Causeway is its 40,000 basalt columns. They are these perfect hexagons that cover the coast. According to the legend, the causeway was built by an Irish giant so he could cross the Northern Sea to fight a Scottish giant. When I was there, we started by hiking above the cliffs and then hiked down to the causeway. I was amazed by the bizarre rock formations. I had such a fun time just walking on them. It's wild to think that they were made by nature. While you're there, you can also hike around to the other spots on the coast, such as the amphitheater. I really like the rock formation and the chimney stack on the cliff. While we're still in Northern Ireland, we're going to head over to Carrick Arid. It's this scenic bridge that crosses the North Atlantic Sea over to this little island. I was just amazed by the watercolor here. It was so blue and clear and contrasted perfectly with the green cliffs. Just 20 minutes from there, you can visit the Dark Hedges. It's this country road lined with over 90 trees. They were planted almost 250 years ago. According to legend, there's a ghost called the Grey Lady who wanders the avenue. It definitely has spooky vibes at night. After Northern Ireland, we're going to head back to England to visit Cornwall. Located on England's southwestern tip, Cornwall is home to some of the best coastline in all of England. While the northern coast is full of impressive sea cliffs at places such as Godrevy Point, the southern coast is named the Cornish Riviera as it's full of scenic harbour towns and villages. One of my favorites is Looe. It's this picturesque town that is divided by the Looe River, which empties in the sea. There's an incredible beach and it's just full of classic English houses. One of the most impressive locations in Cornwall is St. Michael's Mount. It's a tidal island with an impressive castle on top. It's believed to be the home of a monastery from the 8th to 11th centuries, and the castle on the island summit dates back to the 12th century. When the tide goes out, you can walk across the stone causeway to get there. It reminds me a lot of France's Mont Saint-Michel, which is also a tidal island with similar features. While we're still in southwestern England, we're going to head over to the Isles of Scilly. Located about 28 miles off of Cornwall, the Isles of Scilly are an archipelago made up of 5 inhabited islands with a population around 2,000 people. The islands are full of crystal clear waters, historical sites, and rolling green hills. To reach the islands, you can take a 3-hour ferry from Penzance, or you can also take a short plane ride. Islands are just truly stunning. I'd love to get a boat and just sail around the islands in the summertime. After, we're going to visit the White Cliffs of Dover. Located about a 2-hour drive from London, the White Cliffs of Dover are not only a scenic location, but an intriguing historical site, especially regarding World War II history. Since the cliffs are Britain's closest point to continental Europe, being only 20 miles from France, these cliffs have been called an icon of Britain and a symbol of home and wartime defense. During World War II, crossing the Dover was the primary route to Europe by boat or plane, so the White Cliffs were the first and last site of Britain. After the evacuation of Dunkirk, the site of the Cliffs of Dover was a sign of relief as the thousands of Allied troops made it safely back to Britain. The history of these cliffs are absolutely fascinating. While we're still on the topic of cliffs, we're going to visit the Seven Sisters. Located about a 2-hour drive from Dover, the Seven Sisters are home to some of the most beautiful cliffs in all of England. I love how there's just perfectly green grass and a straight drop off to the beach below. The Seven Sisters have been used in film and television series as a stand-in for the famous White Cliffs of Dover. They look just like them, and I think they're honestly more scenic and there's just less people and infrastructure. Regardless, the Seven Sisters are an incredible coastline and a perfect place to stroll and enjoy the English coast. After, we're going to head up to Wales. Located in the southwest of UK, Wales is famous for its mountainous national parks, picturesque coastline, and distinct Welsh language. One of the most scenic places in Wales is Snowdonia. It's a region in northwest Wales that is known for its mountains and lakes. The highest peak in Wales is Mount Snowdon. You can hike up it or also take the Snowdon Mountain Railway to the top. One of my favorite lakes in Snowdonia is Llyn Padarn. It's located at the base of Mount Snowdon and it's just a serene area. If you want to explore some of Wales' coastline, Pembrokeshire offers some incredible scenery. I really like this place called Elligug Stacks that has these incredible rocks jutting out of the sea. Another one of my favorite castles in Wales is the Castell Dinas-Bran. It's believed to have been built over 800 years ago and it's perfectly placed on top of this hill. Today only ruins remain, but I love the green slopes and just overall atmosphere of the area. It's such a magical location. After, we're going to head back to Scotland to visit the Highlands. They are one of my favorite regions in all the UK. It's home to incredible mountains and just mystical scenery. One of my favorite places in the Highlands is Glencoe. Located about a 3-hour drive from Edinburgh, Glencoe is this quaint village, but what I loved about this area is its huge mountains. There was this really nice place to park at this little loch, and it was really enjoyable to walk near the lake. You get a great view of the Bedian Nam Bian mountain, which is 3,770 feet high, and it rests right up against the lake. I mean, this whole area is just beautiful. If you keep driving up the road in the eastern direction, you'll reach this viewpoint which gives you an incredible view of the set of mountains called the Three Sisters of Glencoe. I mean, the drive through the mountains here is amongst the most beautiful in Scotland in my opinion. Now if you keep driving east a few more minutes, you'll reach Bucale Itimor viewpoint. I think this is one of the most symmetrically shaped mountains I've ever seen. It's almost a perfect pyramid shape. I kept going down the road to this river and it gives a beautiful view of the mountains with a little waterfall. The mountains in this part of Scotland are just next level. After, we're going to take a hike to the top of Ben Nevis. With a height of 4,413 feet, Ben Nevis is the tallest point not just in Scotland but all the UK. It's located near the town of Fort William in the Highlands, and what's great about Ben Nevis is that you can hike to the top. There are several routes, and the most popular one is about 10 miles round trip with an elevation gain of 4,400 feet. To Depending on your fitness level, it can take anywhere from 6 to 10 hours to complete. The summit is pretty flat with lots of rocks, and it's such a cool mountain to climb. After, let's head to one of the most iconic places in the Highlands, the Glenfinnan Viaduct. It's located at the top of Loch Shiel in the West Highlands of Scotland, and it's about a 3 hours drive from Edinburgh. The viaduct was completed around 1898. Now this place may look familiar because it was featured in the Harry Potter films. When seeing the steam train cross the bridge is the main attraction, when I was there it would cross 4 times a day at these specific times. I didn't realize this when I came, and I ended up missing the train by a few minutes, so then I had to wait 3 hours for it to come again. So make sure you give yourself some time to go. You can view the trains from both ends of the viaduct, and they are great views, so it could be worth it to wait a few hours to see the train come from both angles. It does get very crowded when the train comes, but in between there was less people, which was nice. Now overall this area was magical, and definitely a must to visit, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. Next time I want to book a ticket on the train to get the true Harry Potter experience. After, we're going to visit Eilean Donan Castle. Located about a 4 hours drive from Edinburgh, Eilean Donan is situated on this tidal island at the point where 3 great sea lochs meet. The castle was built in the 13th century, and it was a stronghold for the Mackenzie clan. The castle was destroyed in 1719, but it was reconstructed in the early 1900s. A bridge was built that connected the island to the mainland. Today you can tour the castle and its grounds for a small fee. I really enjoy walking around it. I mean, it would be so cool to live in a castle like this. For our final destination, we're going to head to my favorite place in the UK, the Isle of Skye. Located about a 5 hours drive from Edinburgh, the Isle of Skye is home to some of the UK's most beautiful places. The main town of Skye is Portree. It's this charming town with these famous colorful buildings on the water. My personal favorite place on Skye is the Old Manor Store. It's one of the most unique and dramatic rock formations I've ever seen. It makes you feel like you're on set of the Game of Thrones. Now to get to the Old Manor Store, it's a 15-minute drive to the start of the trail from Portree, and then from there it's about a 3.5 mile hike round trip. The trek isn't too difficult, but it's a steep uphill climb up some rock stairs at points. The most recent time that I was here, we hiked up into the clouds. We couldn't see all the rock formations, but it made for such a dramatic setting. When I was here several years ago, I had some great conditions. I came up for both sunrise and sunset, and both times were epic. The legend behind the Old Manor Store is that supposedly a giant lived here, and when he was buried, his thumb was left sticking out of the ground, creating the mystical rock formation. Another one of my favorite places in Skye is the Corrang Mountains. Aside from the Old Manor Store, I'd say that the Corrang is my favorite place in the Isle of Skye. It's a set of dramatic rock formations located on the side of a mountain. I mean, the grass is so green, it felt like you were on a golf course. To get there, I drove up this windy road to the parking lot. Be advised, these roads were really bumpy and I got a flat tire. Anyways, after I started hiking to the Corrang, it was a super easy walk with no elevation gain. I was lucky enough to experience the Corrang with sun. Many people have told me that when they went it was too foggy to see anything. If you're here for sunrise, this place looks spectacular with the rising sun as it lights up the green mountains with an orange glow. Well, that is it for my United Kingdom travel guide. There's still so much I missed, so I hope to come back for part 2. Let me know where your favorite place is in the comments below. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.
More than machines and structures, it's about making a real-world impact, changing lives, solving global challenges, and transforming our world for the better. With world-class facilities and a global reputation for academic brilliance, UK universities offer aspiring engineers the chance to excel in their chosen fields. From building iconic bridges to revolutionising urban infrastructure, our vast range of courses allows students to specialise and tailor their studies to industries that inspire them most.
The Engineering Makerspace is a place where students can design, build and test our engineering projects and inventions. We can build rockets, racing cars, humanoid robotics and sustainable projects like wind turbines.
Students enjoy studying here within our faculty. We've got state-of-the-art technology so all our student community can use.
An engineering degree from the UK is more than just theory. It's about practical skills and real-world application, with many courses including work placements or a year in industry.
I didn't know what placement was until I joined the team here. They told me about, all those different people that did really well. They all joined F1. One guy went to McLaren.
We have been asked to do some work on the Sunbeam vehicle. This is the first vehicle to reach the land speed record of 200 miles per hour. I'm going to be one of the few people to have carried out research on the Sunbeam, so it's something that's going to stand out on my CV and something that I can be really proud of.
These invaluable links to leading companies mean graduates are equipped to succeed from day one. The UK is an inspirational place to live and study, with a proud history of engineering achievements. The Shard, the London Underground, and the world's largest offshore wind farm, to name a few. Walking in the footsteps of great engineers like Roma Agrawal, Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and James Dyson, students have the chance to join a legacy of innovation and excellence. It's a nation where innovation thrives and diversity is celebrated, opening doors for all. Start your journey in the UK and be part of engineering's next great chapter.
Envisioning the typical tourist spots like Big Ben and Buckingham Palace, thinking they've covered it all. But what they don't realize is that England has so much more to offer. From picturesque countryside escapes to charming historic towns that are often overlooked. In this video, I'll uncover some must-visit places in England that you need to experience to appreciate the beauty and diversity of this incredible country truly. First, we will go through some interesting fun facts about England, and then head to the best places this country has to offer. But before we get started, if you like to explore amazing travel destinations, then subscribe to my channel. Fun facts about England. Did you know that the English consume over 60 billion cups of tea a year, making it one of the most popular beverages in the country? It's a part of daily life and an essential element of English culture. Speaking of culture, English is the third most spoken language in the world and has significantly influenced many other languages, highlighting England's impact on global communication. When it comes to transportation, the London Underground, also known as the Tube, is the oldest underground railway network in the world, opening in 1863. It's an iconic symbol of London and a marvel of engineering. And as you travel through the country, you can't miss the iconic red telephone boxes. These were designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott and first introduced in 1924, becoming a quintessential symbol of England. Pubs are another staple of English life, with over 50,000 across the country. Alongside pubs, cricket is one of the world's most popular sports, and it originated in England. The first recorded match took place in the 16th century, and it remains a beloved pastime. England is also known for its unpredictable weather, where it's possible to experience sunshine, rain, and fog all in one day. This eccentric weather adds to the charm and character of the country. And of course, you can't visit England without trying a traditional English breakfast. Also known as a full English, it typically includes bacon, sausages, eggs, black pudding, baked beans, tomatoes, and mushrooms. The best places in England. London. London is a vibrant metropolis that seamlessly blends rich history with cutting-edge modernity. As one of the most visited cities in the world, it offers an endless array of attractions, from historic landmarks to contemporary cultural hotspots. Start your journey at the iconic Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. These landmarks are not only stunning to look at, but also serve as a reminder of London's storied past. Just a short walk away, you'll find Westminster Abbey, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture and the site of numerous royal coronations, weddings, and burials. No trip to London would be complete without a visit to Buckingham Palace, the official residence of the British monarch. Witness the changing of the guard ceremony, a display of British pageantry that never fails to impress. From there, take a stroll through St. James's Park, one of the city's many beautiful green spaces. For a taste of London's vibrant culture, head to the south bank of the River Thames. Here, you can take in stunning views of the city from the London Eye, explore world-class exhibitions at the Tate Modern, or catch a play at the renowned Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. London is also a shopper's paradise. Visit the luxury stores of Bond Street, the eclectic markets of Camden, or the high street shops on Oxford Street. For a truly unique experience, wander through the bustling stalls of Borough Market, where you can sample delicious street food from around the world. History fans will like the British Museum, which houses a vast collection of items spanning thousands of years, including the Rosetta Stone and the Elgin Marbles. The Tower of London, with its complex history as a royal palace, prison, and treasury, provides an intriguing peek into London's darker past. Do not miss the Crown Jewels, a stunning display of royal regalia. Cambridge. In the heart of eastern England lies Cambridge, a city renowned for its prestigious university and rich academic heritage. Cambridge's timeless charm is reflected in its stunning architecture, lush gardens, and vibrant cultural scene. The University of Cambridge, founded in 1209, stands as a beacon of academic excellence. Iconic colleges such as King's College, with its magnificent chapel, Trinity College, and St. John's College, offer a glimpse into centuries of scholarly tradition. Historic landmarks like the Round Church and the Cambridge University Library further enrich the city's storied past. Culturally, Cambridge is a treasure trove. Art lovers can explore the extensive collections at the Fitzwilliam Museum and the contemporary exhibits at Kettle's Yard. There's no shortage of activities in Cambridge. Take a guided tour of the university to delve deeper into its history, or embark on a ghost tour to discover the city's spookier side. Cycling is a popular way to explore Cambridge, thanks to its flat terrain and numerous bike paths. When it comes to shopping and dining, the city boasts bustling markets, unique independent shops, and a variety of restaurants catering to all tastes. The ideal times to visit are in the spring and summer, when the gardens burst into bloom and the weather is perfect for exploring the outdoors. Cambridge is easily reachable, thanks to excellent train and road connections from major cities. York. Did you know that York was once the Viking capital of England, known as Jorvik? York, nestled in North Yorkshire, England, is a city rich in history, dating back to Roman times. Its medieval walls, historic streets, and charming architecture make it a fascinating destination that beautifully blends the old with the new. Dominating York's skyline is York Minster, one of Northern Europe's largest Gothic cathedrals, renowned for its stunning architecture and magnificent stained glass windows. The Shambles, a narrow, cobbled medieval street lined with timber-framed buildings, is a must-see. Another key attraction is the Jorvik Viking Center, where you can immerse yourself in the city's Viking heritage. York Castle and Clifford's Tower are also prominent historical landmarks that speak to the city's medieval past. The National Railway Museum showcases Britain's rich railway history with an impressive collection of locomotives and exhibits. For scenic beauty, the River Ouse provides a picturesque backdrop, with boat tours and riverside walks offering tranquil views of the city. The York Museum Gardens, with their botanical beauty and Roman ruins, are perfect for a relaxing stroll. Roan Tree Park is another lovely spot for enjoying nature within the city. Lake District National Park. Lake District National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the stunning northwest of England. Known for its breathtaking landscapes of serene lakes, towering mountains, and lush forests, it's no wonder this park is a favorite among tourists and nature lovers alike. The Lake District is a paradise for those who appreciate scenic beauty. Imagine glistening lakes such as Windermere and Ullswater, surrounded by verdant hills and rugged peaks like Scafell Pike, the highest mountain in England. The vistas here are truly unforgettable. When it comes to activities, the Lake District has something for everyone. Hiking enthusiasts will love the extensive network of trails, ranging from gentle walks to challenging climbs. Water lovers can enjoy boating, kayaking, or even a refreshing swim in the clear lakes. History buffs can explore ancient sites like the Castle Rigstone Circle, and those seeking quaint charm will find it in the picturesque villages of Grasmere and Ambleside. Nature lovers will be thrilled by the diverse wildlife in the Lake District. Keep an eye out for red squirrels and ospreys, or take in the rich plant life, from ancient woodlands to vibrant wildflowers that dot the landscape. The Lake District isn't just a feast for the eyes, it's also a cultural treasure. Getting here is easy, with good road and rail connections from major cities. As for accommodation, you have plenty of options, from cozy cottages and charming B&Bs to scenic campsites. And now for some fun facts. Did you know that the Lake District is home to England's deepest lake, wastewater? Interestingly, there's only one official lake in the Lake District, Bassenthwaite Lake. All the others are meres or waters. Liverpool. Liverpool, located in Merseyside, England, is a city known for its rich maritime history and vibrant cultural scene. It's famously recognized as the birthplace of the Beatles, which adds a unique charm to this dynamic city. Historically, Liverpool has been a significant port city, playing a crucial role in global trade. The historic docks, including Albert Dock and Pier Head, are now beautifully restored and bustling with life. Architectural marvels like Liverpool Cathedral and the Metropolitan Cathedral offer stunning views and a glimpse into the city's religious heritage. Culturally, Liverpool has much to offer. The Beatles Story, a museum dedicated to the legendary band, is a must-visit for music enthusiasts. Football fans will be thrilled by a visit to Anfield, the iconic home of Liverpool FC. A stadium tour offers a behind-the-scenes look at this legendary venue, from the players' tunnel to the team dressing rooms. The energy and passion of Liverpool's football culture are palpable, making a match-day experience unforgettable if you get the chance. Liverpool's waterfront is another highlight of the city. Stroll along the Pier Head to see the Three Graces, the Royal Liver Building, the Cunard Building, and the Port of Liverpool Building. These architectural gems are a testament to Liverpool's historical importance as a major port city. For a unique perspective, take a ferry across the Mersey River. This short trip provides stunning views of Liverpool's skyline and offers a fresh appreciation of its maritime significance. Manchester. Next, we journey to the vibrant city of Manchester, a powerhouse of culture, music, and sports. Known as the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, Manchester boasts a rich history and a thriving contemporary scene that makes it one of the most exciting cities in the UK. Begin your exploration at the heart of the city, where historic and modern architecture blend seamlessly. The Manchester Town Hall, an iconic example of Victorian Gothic architecture, stands proudly in Albert Square. Nearby, the John Rylands Library, with its stunning neo-Gothic design, houses an impressive collection of rare books and manuscripts. Manchester is famous for its contributions to music, producing legendary bands like The Smiths, Oasis, and Joy Division. The city's vibrant music scene can be experienced at various venues, from the historic Manchester Arena to smaller, intimate clubs like Band on the Wall and the Deaf Institute. The city is home to some of the most famous football clubs in the world, Manchester United and Manchester City. A visit to Old Trafford, known as the Theatre of Dreams, offers an in-depth look at Manchester United's storied history. The Etihad Stadium, home to Manchester City, provides a modern contrast and an equally fascinating tour. If you're in town during the football season, catching a live match is an experience you won't forget. Birmingham. Located in the heart of the West Midlands, Birmingham is often referred to as the second city of the UK. Known for its significant role in the Industrial Revolution, Birmingham boasts a rich industrial heritage and a vibrant cultural scene. Start your journey in the city centre at Victoria Square, home to some of Birmingham's most iconic landmarks. The Council House, with its stunning Victorian architecture, and the Town Hall, a masterpiece of Roman Revival design, set the tone for Birmingham's historical charm. Nearby, the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery offers a fascinating collection of fine art, including the largest collection of pre-Raphaelite paintings in the world. Birmingham's industrial heritage is best explored at the Black Country Living Museum. This open-air museum transports you back in time to the 19th century, showcasing the region's industrial past through reconstructed shops, houses, and workshops. It's an immersive experience that provides a deep understanding of the city's roots. For a taste of modern Birmingham, visit the Library of Birmingham. This architectural marvel, with its striking design and rooftop garden, is a symbol of the city's regeneration.